I am love. I am peace. I am free. I have abundance. I have everything within me. For I was, for I am, for I always be. We are love. We are peace. We are free. We have abundance. We have everything within us. For we are, for we will always be. For Mother Earth is love. For Mother Earth has peace. For Mother Earth is free. For Mother Earth has abundance. For Mother Earth has everything within her. For she was, for she is, for she will always be. And so it is spoken, so it has been written, and it is done.
You have entered into a dimension of truth where time does not exist and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of truth uncompromised.
All right, family. Welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight we have a great show planned for you. We are on part 28 of our series. We're really towards the end, y'all, but this has been so good, and this author did such a well job that I don't want to skip nothing. But the Real Pilgrams, the true story of immigrants coming to America. Now, the two main sources for this series have been They Were White and They Were Slaves, The Untold History of the Enslavement of Whites in Early America by Michael A. Hoffman II. And then also White Trash, The 400-Year Untold History of Class in America by Nancy Eisenberg. So last week, we were still into how Caucasians settled, quote, quote, and I'm putting settled in quotation marks, California. And pretty much they were lured there with the promises of mining gold, but they were looked upon as being squatters. So they were basically in the same situation that they were in that folks were in the South. Okay, many of them escaping or finishing up indentured servant contracts. Rather, they came over here as convicts from Europe or came over here with the promise of working off their debt via transportation to the Americas with the hope of gaining land. So interestingly enough, and anyone that is from California or that has lived in California a long time, I highly encourage you to go back and check last week's show. And you can fast forward towards the end if you don't want to hear us chop it up about current events. But it talked about how the Californians and Spaniards, Okay, so the author, once again, she does an excellent job. I'm speaking of author Nancy Eisenberg, of giving folk their proper categories. All right, so Californians, she is letting you know the indigenous people of the land, and then the Spaniards. Okay, because remember, Spain occupied that lower half of what we're calling the United States now, including Mexico, and up to portions of the West. So specifically California, the Spaniards occupied California, and the Caucasians despised the Spaniards because the Spaniards kind of looked down on the Caucasians, okay? So I just politely brought up, and I will re-bring up again, that certainly puts into question this whole thing around immigration with California and really Texas. Texas ain't free from it either on who's really, quote, quote, legal, all right? So Caucasians, I got to call you out yet again. You really need to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror if you are spewing off rhetoric of who's supposed to be here on these lands, because you have the last claim, okay? In my opinion, even the folks that are categorized as Mexicans today have a better claim than you do. All right, so before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to the lovely YouTube family. I see Scotty Saturn's in the house, Mr. Tyrese21, Epic Sounds. So shout out to you all, and shout out to the family callers on Blog Talk as well. Shout out to Seventh Christopher in the Blog Talk chat room. Peace and love. Sis, I think that's my millennial out in Nevada. So we are going to bring on our co-host, but before I do that, I have two announcements. So the first one, I do want to send another shout out to Brother Carameo, who has a YouTube channel. Again, he put out a wonderful YouTube video. He actually put out two back to back on this very topic. So just as we said, we have been telling y'all for years that Benjamin Franklin was more than likely, he came up out of indentured servitude, all right? So author Nancy Eisenberg, she mentioned it in this book, and Brother Carameo, he put out a video talking about Benjamin Franklin, the truth about Benjamin Franklin, the runaway indentured servant, the history you were never told. I highly encourage you to check it out. It's not that long. I think it's only about 20 minutes. And the kicker is who he was an indentured servant to. My mouth about dropped open on that one. And then right after it, he put out a video, George Washington and his white slaves, indentured servants in the Mount Vernon plantation. All right, so you New Yorkers, y'all know where Mount Vernon is. Shout out to Mount Vernon family. Peace and love, Sis Cheryl, and peace and love, Sis Pauletta. All right, so the second announcement is all of my Blog Talk family that logs into the chat room and that calls in on the phone. In about over the next 2 months, I am going to be testing out new equipment to totally move off of Blog Talk. They didn't piss me off to the last level of pissability. I pay good money for this platform, and it's not stable, and it should be compatible with YouTube. So if you like to call in on the phone, I'm going to be testing some new equipment to route calls through Skype. And if you're in the chat room, then you're just going to have to leverage YouTube. So we're still going to do it live, YouTube, but instead of the phone calls, I'll have a Skype number for you to call in. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up that over the next 2 months, we're going to be moving away from Blog Talk because they ain't got just a little bit too ghetto for your girl with me paying them my coins. All right, so with that said, let me bring on my co-host. I see Sis Sandra and Brother Sean. Let me bring on Sis Sandra. Peace and love, sis. How are you?
Oh, peace and love to you, Sister Rhonda. I'm good. I'm just great, actually. And yourself?
Good. I'm good. It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear yours, too. Great to hear it in this day and age. We don't know what's coming up next.
I know that's right, sis. It's always some drama.
Yeah.
Let me bring on Brother Sean. Let me bring him on right quick. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Wholeness and power. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Good to hear your voice.
Likewise. Lights, camera, action.
Action. I hear that. I know that's right. So before I make that move to get off a ghetto blog talk, the three of us will test out the equipment where you can still call in if you want with the number to connect to Skype. But yeah, blog talk's got to go. I'm about sick of it. Once I trace back the problems that we were having when we kept dropping with YouTube and YouTube's little defense, I apologize, YouTube, sugar pie. I was blaming it on you. But it wasn't you.
Oh, you're right.
it wasn't you. It was ghetto ass blog talking. Your shit is free, YouTube, and you more stable than they ghetto ass. So we'll test it out. Other thing, y'all, the opening song, YouTube, you couldn't hear it because of copyright, was Auntie Betty Wright transitioned. So I played Cleanup Woman, and we had just mentioned her, literally. We had just mentioned Betty Wright when we made a reference to Mama Earth cleaning up, and I was like, yeah, that remind me of Betty Wright's song, Cleanup Woman. So rest in power, Sister Betty Wright, and for those youngins that don't know about Betty Wright, your mom and them know. Your mom and them definitely know, because that ain't even my generation, but all right, youngest, let me break it down for y'all. My millennial and Z's. Back up in the day, the party started on Thursday night, because some people, back when manufacturing was hot, they worked 4 days a week. So what's that, 10 hours a day? 10 hours a day. So they could have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Or some people would still party on Thursday and just suffer through Friday. All right? So the car party and stuff started on Thursday night. It was always at somebody's house. And then they would sometimes on Fridays have a little fish fry. And if somebody was trying to raise some little funds for whatever particular little reason, they would charge a couple of little extra dollars. But the party, the opportune word, the party was always at somebody's house. So as youngins, you know, you in your room, you're supposed to be asleep. And, of course, you couldn't sleep because this is how it rolls, family. People get there, they eat whatever, they start playing cards, they start drinking, and somebody gonna start talking shit. Somebody gonna start talking shit. Get their feelings hurt, get cussed out, get put out, but the party still continues. But in the midst of all of that going on, it was always great music in the background. So that's why people of the Generation X, we know all of that music. We know the Motown days all the way up until, you know, the through the 70s. So we knew the 60s music, we knew the 70s music. If you hung out with your grandma and them, you might even know the 50s and 40s music, all the way up until our generation started creating new genres of music. And that's why these particular artists, because another producer or hit maker that transition also was Andre Harrell, who gave Puffy his start. So that generation, which they're in my generation, started sampling music, all right? So putting it in different beats or making new beats over over those beats, and in some cases remaking some of those songs, just like Mary J. Blige remade one of Shaka Khan's songs and made it famous all over again, okay? So I'm just trying to give you the origins of where all of this great music comes from and why a baby boomer would pretty much know at a minimum music from the 60s all the way up until today. And Betty Wright was definitely one of those artists. She was kind of, I would say she was progressive in a way, because before there was a Foxy Brown and all of them broads, Betty Wright, she had a potty mouth. If you ever heard your, youngest, it would be your grandma and them. For my generation, it would be our parents. Talk about a Betty Wright concert. Baby, she was all about telling that bedroom business. Okay, and one of her other famous songs, was literally about a woman losing her virginity. All right, so just giving you kind of a quick little lesson on these particular artists and how the Generation X, we know them, we know their music very well, and how it was reused up until today. So rest in power, Auntie Betty Wright, one of my blood aunts who transitioned some years ago. Betty Wright was, oh my God, that was a woman. When Betty Wright came on, she was finna cut the rug on that. So, all right, so I'll pause in case Brother Shiner says you want to put something on it.
You know, Andre Harrell, he actually used to rap. He was in a group called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah.
Okay.
One of their top songs was AM PM. You don't remember that?
Never heard of it. I have to, I'm going to have to look it up.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, he, just because he's, let's say, transition, don't mean his name not gonna get brought up in some shit.
Yeah, because it was a lot. He did a lot of dirt behind the scenes from what different people were saying, and they did not do a good job. They carried on the legacy. Unfortunately, when folks wanted to blame the quote Caucasian Jews for ripping melanated people off in the record industry. Harrell and Puffy and them continued to do the same pretty much.
Right.
Because it said that really nobody truly became a millionaire under either one of them. They had to spin off their own production companies, because I think even Biggie spun off his own production company and had Lil' Kim and Junior Mafia and them up under him to make his little change. And I think he still was cheated up out of some change. And Mary J. Pretty much said she didn't start making no money till after the fact that she got into endorsements and all of that jazz. So they pretty much set up those record deals to rip a lot of people off, okay? Which is unfortunate, but supposedly and allegedly, now I don't know how true this is. I don't know nobody that done signed a record contract. I'm only going by what people have publicly said. That Suge Knight had got a lot of people out of bad contracts, although supposedly and allegedly he bullied a lot of people into some contracts and out of their masters. But he got a lot of people out of bad contracts. And today I heard the music industry is such garbage that any new artist would literally be a fool to sign a record deal. That they would be better off just cutting one single and make it the best way that they can, or try to, because they're making their money really in touring and other merchandise deals, which also brings me to talk about, what's the old girl's name? Gabrielle Union kind of put folks on blast. I don't think she was doing it intentionally, but she pretty much said folks in the entertainment industry are struggling because of Rona, because they make their money through the touring and making appearances at clubs and all of that jazz. But because of Rona, that's pretty much dead and stuff. And matter of fact, the raggedy rapper Lil Bootsy, and I don't know these folks. This is just, I don't know not any of his music. I know how he looked, but I saw a video clip of him giving an example saying that he would be able to make an appearance and make, what did he say, $100,000 in cash for that appearance, just for that night. He said, so now he's some type of way only getting $70,000 a week or something like that, which is still good money. But if you live in a certain I know, because this other blogger blasted them, and she was like, and I can't think of her name. She was like, "Get a job, MF." I hollered. Yeah, I agree. Boo hoo. But anyhow, it is what it is. Go ahead on, Brother Sean.
I'm just tripping on them figures, motherfucker. If you can't make it off 70,000, what you say, a show or a week? 70, you can't make it off.
Well, he was making it per appearance. So let's say you go to the Club Snub Friday and Saturday.
You know how many people don't make that a year?
I know. I know how many people don't make the 100,000 a year. I 1,000% agree with you, but here's the thing, though, Brother Sean. You know and I know. If you balling, you renting Bentleys and Ferraris, then you in a multi-million-dollar home, then you got your boys them on your payroll, then you got your family them on your payroll, then you got your baby mama them on your payroll. They living check to check like the average person. So they're not being fiscally responsible. Because everybody want to ball. Everybody want to be on the motherfucking gram acting like they all of that in a bag of chips. And they one motherfucking pack of Roman noodles from starvation.
Mm-hmm.
They skip a check, skip a beat, and that's it. And like that blogger said, but want to look down on regular folk. No, you're really in the same position if you look at it. Sorry, go ahead on, Brother Sean.
I mean, he didn't sold his soul, so of course he gonna be mad at regular people. I mean, okay, now I'm broke like you regular motherfuckers, but I don't have a soul.
Well, shit, that's on you, bro.
Right. Exactly, but that's the whole thing, though. You don't get them type of royalty checks. You don't make it to that level without cutting a deal, without selling your soul. I mean, just enjoy the time that you had. Know that all this bullshit is about to be over with, because I don't know what people are thinking. The music industry, as it is part of the system.
It is.
Hollywood, as it is.
It's part of the system. That is correct.
That's why all these celebrities and athletes and everything all about to get caught up in this shit. They really ain't gonna have no. I can't
argue with you.
Yeah.
They really ain't gonna have no money now, because I mean, once an indictment is handed down against you, that's all your assets seized and everything.
Frozen, yeah.
Oh, your
not frozen, taken.
Oh, well.
He can take their shit. The executive order say he can take their money.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they setting it up for this so-called reset and wealth redistribution, because they go take all their money and, put them in Gitmo and execute them and instead of. I'm still waiting to see it. I want it to be televised, or I ain't gonna believe it.
Right. I don't want to hear it. It happened. Goddamn it, we need some receipts.
And I want to see clones get executed too.
Right, I don't care about none of that. Exactly.
If you set up and pretended like you was this motherfucker, I want to see you get it too. I want to see them all.
I
put
totally
them all
agree.
In a row. Let's play. What's that?
Holograms. Add holograms to that bitch too.
Right. All of them in the goddamn pot.
Totally, 1,000% agree. Because it's interesting, and I mean, all of us know this, but for any of you that's listening, and don't let your heartstrings get tugged at with the celebrity pushing some motherfucking charity. I'm going to say that again. Don't let your heartstrings get pulled on to donate money that a fucking charity is pushing. A celebrity is pushing. Fuck them. You trying to manage you and yours. Now, me personally, this is just moi. I find it insulting. Bitch, you finna ask me for what? And you quote a billionaire or a multi-million, you better reach down in your dust ass bag and get it. Because the game behind the scenes is folks setting up these charities and shell companies and not using it for what it's supposed to be used for. Now, I'm not saying every celebrity does that. I'm just saying just be careful with your coins, because you use your energy and labor for your coins for you and yours. Fuck what they talking about. If they that concerned, dip in their own motherfucking pocket. But do your research. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
I was just adding, the churches do that too. They collect money for starving children in Africa or whatever, and you pay $1, whatever, each dollar, they only get 25 cents of that dollar. They chop
and
it up.
I think the 25 cent is being generous, sis, to be motherfucking honest. I think it's 10 cent or 5 cent on a dollar.
People keep doing it, and they don't know. And the some of this stuff even go to terrorist groups. So, because I saw reports on that too, you know. So the Hezbollah and all those people over in Palestine, they were laughing. I saw a documentary how they laugh at how generous the American public is. Excuse me, I'm just sneezing.
Ooh, bless you.
They're
Bless
just laughing at people because they're so gullible to charity, and they don't get it. If we gave, like, say for Haiti, we gave billions of dollars.
Which is a perfect, exactly. That's a perfect example, sis. Go on and tell it.
It was $10 billion. Do you think them people got out of poverty? No.
Mm-mm.
The Clinton Foundation was monitoring or handling that, and then people are still the way they were when the things went down. It's not good. Now they're coming in crates where they're taking the children for slave trafficking. So, you know.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
No, you finish with you. I'll get crazy on that one.
No. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's a perfect example. Like you said, billions were raised, not from the people with the money, but just the regular American folk.
Yeah.
That's out of their generosity, and huge sums of money being unaccounted for, and Haiti is still not right to this day. Still not right. So, it's just another hustle. It's just another hustle. So, that's all. Of course, you're free to do what you want to do. Just put you up on some game if you really want to make a difference and you want the money to go to something. Give it to people directly, or look into your local charities, or if you have people that you Patreon, like your hairdresser or whomever, and you know that they can't work, send them what you would normally be sending them. Take care of your own inner circle, because they be on some bull. So anyhow, all right then. Okay,
don't forget, Little Richard died.
Oh yes. Yeah, he Y'all know what? Now I'm not trying to start nothing. I swear I'm not trying to start nothing. But I could have sworn he had already died. Now, maybe that's just me. I thought the man had transitioned already.
Yep, sure did. Sure did.
Okay, so it wasn't me.
It was a couple of years ago he died, because, he was the king of rock and roll, for real. He the one coined the phrase rock and roll.
Okay, so I'm like, did we jump a timeline or what the fuck? Because I could have sworn this man transitioned either 5 or 10 years ago.
I thought I was like, did he go already? I'm like, what? Yeah, me too. And that was mentioned, but I thought about the same thing. I mean, it's kind of like, what?
Yeah. So rest in power again.
Duplicated.
Obviously, that nigga ain't rusting.
They keep bringing him up.
Obviously, he jumped another timeline.
Right.
Obviously. That's like, I thought the gorilla lady had died, huh?
They're using a distraction.
Yes, he did.
The gorilla lady?
She had been dead.
I'm telling you, Sean, I just saw the motherfucking gorilla lady on Jimmy Fallon motherfucking show 3 weeks ago. I said, what? I said, what?
How the hell she doing that today?
I'm telling you, Sean, go look old girl up. She's still living, and she was just on Fallon's show 3 weeks ago. I said, God damn it, I could have sworn that lady had died.
They're playing a whole bunch of games right about now.
Okay, so that wasn't me either, because I could have sworn that goddamn lady died. Because I was like, what the fuck is she doing on this show as a guest? This lady done died. Okay.
That's some fuckery right there.
Yeah, but if you look her up, I got out the motherfucking bed. When he looked that shit up, I'm like, no. Now I'm not talking about the original lady.
I know.
Not her. I know. Yeah,
right.
So you on the same page as me? Not the original lady. Yeah, the second gorilla lady. No, she was just on Fallon's show 3 motherfucking weeks ago. Yeah. And then when Little Richard popped up, I said, oh, hell no. We dealing with multiple timelines here. This some fuckery at its finest. And I could see if it's just me, but if you remembering what I'm remembering, then it ain't just the two of us, goddammit. So, yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
I know. Yeah, we're going to leave it alone. Let's see who else in 2020 they try to put up in this motherfucking timeline. All right, Sis Sandra, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery for the family?
Well, yeah, I do. You know, they're really changing the data on this COVID thing. And now they're going to try to add morphine for pain. I said, morphine for pain? Are you? I said, now they're really trying to kill him. Because they're already having respiratory problems. You get morphine in there, they're going to be dead. Because that's what they use in hospice, you know. And
yeah.
You know, and it will depress the respiratory center. I heard a nurse crying. I saw a video of it. And all this stuff they're doing to melanated people in New York. And she said they are just putting too much this on them, doing this wrong, and they can lay in that bed for a day or two and assign a dead person to a nurse. And that person has been dead a while, and they don't even know when they died. Everything.
Damn.
Yeah. The lady, I said, oh, my God. See, it's a breakdown. She said they're killing them. But the breakdown came when they started putting heads of hospitals, the CEO, that is a business person and not a medical business person.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you saying, damn, I forget the name of the little position. So I don't know if you remember that TV series House.
Yeah.
So you mean House Boss? Because remember, the lady was House's boss.
And she didn't know nothing about nothing, and he had to tell her all the time. Yeah, that's real.
Got you.
They're putting business people in the position. So this is why we have ventilators. We have nurses taking care of ventilators instead of respiratory taking care of ventilators.
You.
Got people being cross-trained that only nurses used to do. All this kind of stuff to save $1. So the doctors will start saying, years ago, don't go into the hospital unless you have to, because there's nothing but die. So now they have this huge emergency all over the country, and most of the staff is wet behind the ears in what to do, like the old folks' homes, nursing homes. Those people don't use the right technique to take care of people. Because why are these nurses getting the diseases and the patients are dying and dropping in groves? Because they done fallen short of teaching these people the right techniques for teaching, cleaning your hands and taking care of your patients. That's called aseptic technique, and if it gets any worse, it's sterile technique, because that means that's what you're doing for COVID people. But they're not treating our people in New York, according to this video I saw, with any type of respect and letting them die. And
wow.
Then, tough luck. It's tough luck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I noticed. And then you get the news. Let's talk about that daggone news. If Trump has to blow his nose, he in trouble. There's nothing on the news that shows anything respectful for this man as the president, even though he's trying to get us from not taking the vaccines, from not being in the World Health Organization, because the World Health Organization is run by none other than that Bill, what's his name, who is not a medical doctor, who has no medical training, but he's telling everybody what to do with their job. And he and Fauci are partners in a lot of adventures.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm hearing people say, people ain't fucking with them vaccines, so they can go up the motherfucking street with that. It ain't finna happen. So they can try that force stuff if they want to, but from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing just regular folks say, they gonna have hell on their hands. So they might as well go on and have several motherfucking seats on that, because it ain't gonna happen. People not rolling with it like that.
When you're walking down the street, if you can get down the street, the average man knows it's all a mess and it's a hoax. They know that. So I don't know if the news think we're all stupid or uneducated or we don't care, but you can almost walk into Walmart and say, hi, and then they'll start talking to you. And then you find out they don't believe all this stuff. But they're taking tons of millions, because I understand that Gates owns the news too now. So they're really doing propaganda, really, 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 really bad. As Trump used to call it, fake news. And this young man I was talking to yesterday, he said, I kind of like him because he's doing things for us and not really knowing he's doing it. And I said, yep. And I said, but the only thing that stands between, and I think these people are operatives of another country. That's what I think they are. And they're selling that other country's agenda without mentioning the other country's name. But I think that's what's going down. They working two agendas. One writes for that other country in the technical arena, and then the other one, they go to that place, and President O has been seen on pictures there talking to the scientists in those labs. So what's going down?
Well, the good news about all of this is folks not buying the bullshit.
No, they're not.
So they can spin it, flip it, rub it, like BBD said, what is it?
Smack it up,
flip it, yeah. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. It ain't finna happen. Yeah, oh no. Poison, doom, 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 poison. I'm doing the steps underneath my desk. Ain't nobody buying that bullshit so they can take it up the street. That's a great thing. That is huge. People like, yeah, okay then. I ain't doing it. And they brought it on themselves with the fuckery. So it is what the fuck it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
Sorry. I'll let you go.
I mean, the thing is the recovery rate within itself. I mean, you can't hide that.
Yep.
They murdering people. This is war.
And I think they thought that more were going to fall victim, but like I said last week, people's immune system is stronger than they thought.
And we're in the age of knowing. Instead of just sitting up
Exactly.
constantly believing what they're saying, people start doing research on their damn own. And then once you go through it and survive it and like, hold up, what the fuck? That's just like the goddamn flu I had last year.
Exactly.
Like,
Except I'm a lot more congested, unless it really, really got you. Some people I know really, really got it and had to get up in the hospital. But you know what? It is what it is, and it's not working, and it's not going to work. And everything that they stinking asses try to do is going to backfire. So they can stand outside and explain that to mom and that motherfucking plasma. Explain all that to her about them vaccines and all of that shit, because I personally don't want to hear it. I really don't. But real quick, before I let you go, Brother Sean, because it's on the same topic, damn, y'all, and I apologize for not having a direct name of the movie, but you can go look for it yourself. I saw this movie with Mark Wahlberg this weekend. That shit tripped me the fuck out, y'all, because it's about this virus that broke out, and it was causing people to kill themselves. And they couldn't figure out where the virus was coming from. Guess where the virus came from, y'all? The damn plants. The damn plants turned on their motherfucking funk asses and felt they was a threat and start wiping people out. I was like, oh, hell no. So I'll try to look up that movie before the show ends and give it to give you the title of it. But yeah, the plants was taking their motherfucking ass out. And the plants started, what you say, sis?
It's like Star Trek. They had one like that. With a plant.
Yeah, you know everything come from Star Trek and my motherfucking Twilight Zone. All movies come from that, and I say Twilight Zone first. But yeah, so the plants, they would be in groups and would just kill them, and then they saw, well, maybe if we get into smaller groups, the plants didn't give a fuck about that. Killed them again. So I'm not going to tell you the end, but it's a very, very interesting movie, and I said, oh, damn. The plants basically was releasing a poisonous gas, invisible gas, that was messing with the neurological system and caused people to go crazy and literally kill themselves. So the plants was purging motherfuckers off the planet, basically, because the plants felt threatened by these humans and started taking their monkey asses out. It was just, it tripped me out. So I'll try to get the title to that movie for the family. All right. Brother Sean, do you have any? Go ahead on with the fuckery.
Sure do. Now, I'm just sitting up looking back over history. Every time there's been some type of outbreak, disease, virus, whatever, only the infected people were quarantined. Why is everybody quarantined?
Yeah.
I mean, if we gonna use coronavirus logic, people get murdered every day. Shouldn't we all be in jail until they figure out who's going to murder somebody? I'm just saying.
Damn.
With that logic, I mean, we can use that logic with let's say, Sky Daddy and his book and his children. He know everything.
Right.
But you can't make it to heaven if you commit sin, but you're born in sin. And he knows you're going to commit sin because he knows everything, but you can't commit sin if you want to go to heaven. This, that, or the other. So, I mean, why even go through all this? Why not just sit in here? I mean, why do anything?
True.
Why live? I mean, everybody eventually gonna die. I mean, let's use coronavirus logic. Everybody kill yourself because you're gonna die. That way we don't even have to worry about when, where, or how you gonna die. Just kill yourself right now. And we ain't got to worry about it.
That's true.
I mean,
that's a very good point.
People just let a motherfucker just tell them anything. Well, why not use that coronavirus logic toward homelessness and hunger? Make it mandatory that everybody have a house and food.
Yeah, but they ain't finna do that.
No, but I mean, if the people don't support this fuck shit that they say do, I mean, motherfuckers sitting behind a goddamn desk somewhere say, sit your ass at home, and what people do, blue.
Yeah.
But these motherfuckers still doing whatever the fuck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They still enjoying life. I mean, they was just recently talking about Nancy Pelosi and her, $12,000 refrigerator, and she only has the most expensive ice cream bars in there. And she on Twitter eating ice cream bars while people are starving to death.
Exactly.
And then about the Clinton Foundation and over there in Haiti.
That was just an atrocity.
And what they say, they started to build one house, didn't even finish the one house.
It's just sad.
Pocketed all the rest. Her brother had ended up with the rights to a gold mine over there, which was later revoked. And then he suicided himself.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know the brother had wound up allegedly taking himself out, supposedly and allegedly.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be going either way it go, and that was like right around the time when they was getting ready to subpoena him.
Oh, well, yeah, okay then.
So, I mean, if this monster take her own brother out.
Baby. But that's what happens when you in that club fucking around with folk. You better know what you doing. You better know what contract you signing.
Exactly, because I ain't for none of them fuckheads. I'm for the truth. And whoever telling the truth, I'm listening to you for a minute. I still ain't really fucking with you for real, but
exactly
you telling
like
the
that,
truth,
right?
Okay, you got my attention. You telling the truth. Okay, but then what after that?
Exactly.
Right now, I ain't trying to interfere in them going after each other. That's the way it got to be.
Exactly. Right.
I mean,
let them do their thing.
Obviously, our people still too loving and too asleep to put in the type of dirty work that this man putting in, or the people behind him. But you know, he still got to have some kahunas on him to be the face of all of this. And
yeah, he really does.
And take the brunt of all these attacks, knowing that he's being attacked for telling the truth. I mean,
right.
He's like, okay, y'all saying all this shit to me, but we know y'all the dirtiest, scummiest motherfuckers to ever walk the planet.
Right, scummy. Yeah.
And that's just not the people here. All this is taking place worldwide.
Yep.
This is the world reset that everybody been
absolutely been talking about. Yep.
But the outcome of it, we've only been given certain models according to their predictions, according to their vision.
Right.
And there's always many variables to always alter something. You know, people be like, oh, well, this didn't come true, or that didn't happen. He said this was going to. That's because shit happened to make sure that shit don't happen.
Exactly.
But we always sitting up expecting the worst. Why? There's plenty of us putting in work to make sure the worst don't happen to
absolutely.
All of us. But y'all won't lock into that frequency. Y'all still lock into that doom and gloom and lock into them low frequencies instead of locking into them higher frequencies and finally putting all this bullshit to an end.
Exactly.
But,
exactly. You know, put in your work. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And thank you, Brother Scotty and Indigenous Ann Rican Leo. That's a cute little name, screen name. The movie, the Mark Wahlberg movie is The Happening. You're absolutely right. That's what it is, The Happening. So check it out, child. I was like, oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no, no, no. All right, family. So speaking of, so they want to keep talking about Rona. They ain't talking about the motherfucking what's-the-face publicly, mama moving these poles, but she ain't bullshitting around with they stinking asses. They ain't focusing on that. Okay? And I say part of the quarantine was definitely to hide the planetary shift that is going on. Again, you got the sun rising in different spots, setting in different spots. Basically a chakra show going on in the sky, right? Sky's all purple, pink, green, but we're not hearing nothing about that. People catching UFOs and shit in the sky, but you ain't hearing about that. Okay? So, Forbes sent out, and I'm getting ready, hopefully display it so y'all can see it on YouTube, the little article. Forbes. Now, this the motherfucking financial magazine, y'all. Came out and started talking about the pole shift. Tripped me all the way out. So Earth's magnetic north pole is shifting dramatically from a powerful tug of war. So this came out May 7th. So last Friday, I think it is. Now, come on. All right. It's becoming increasingly clear in recent years that Earth's magnetic North Pole has been moving towards Russia at rather fast clip. All right, so shout out to Brother Kalai. Brother, on the spiritual platform that I heard talking about the magnetic pole moving and how Russia, China, and them going back up under ice. All right? And if you want to follow this stuff real close, check out a YouTube channel called Adapt 2030, ADAPT 2030. This man has been following this stuff for decades and has it all charted out and all that type of jazz. All right, but anyway, now a team of researchers believe they've identified the forces that are causing the shift, which has implications for everyday navigation and mapping systems, among other things. Earth's magnetic field is governed by the flow of materials in our planet's core, and it seems that two competing magnetic blogs along the outer core are pulling at the magnetic's north pole. One magnetized patch is beneath Canada, while the other is under Siberia. Shout out again to Brother Kalai, because goddammit, he mentioned Siberia too. So shout out to him. He's literally been on the money with dead accuracy. All right. In the past few decades, the Siberian patch has begun to overpower its opponent in dramatic fashion. The planet-scale battle has resulted in the magnetic North Pole migrating towards Russia with a quickness. So who the hell gave for the slang quickness? You know, that's our slang, Brother Sean, from back up in the day. We just can't have nothing. Let me read that again. The planet-scale battle has resulted in the magnetic North Pole migrating towards Russia with the quickness. This change in the pattern of flow has weakened the patch under Canada and ever so slightly increased the strength of patch under Siberia, explained Dr. Phil Livermore. This is why the North Pole has left its historic position over the Canadian Arctic and crossed over the international date line. Northern Russia is winning the tug of war, if you like, Dr. Philip Livermore of the University of Leeds in the UK told BBC. Livermore is the lead author of a paper out of Newsweek Science, whatever the fuck. All right, so if you on YouTube, you'll catch up and you'll see where it's showing how the poles are moving in a little picture depiction. At the turn of the 20th century, the magnetic North Pole was firmly in Canada's Arctic. It spent the next century meandering about 10 degrees to the north, moving ever closer to the North Pole. Around 2001, its movement began to accelerate, and by 2019, magnetic north had actually moved all the way north, crossed the international date line, and began traveling south on the other side of the globe towards Siberia. All right, so now, if it was, quote, quote, what they are calling north and going south, ain't that the opposite, or am I not looking at this properly? According to them. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. So is that not The reversing of the poles?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so have we not been saying that shit like forever and ever and ever and forever, ever, ever? That mama was going to reverse her poles?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay then. All right then. Okay, so the team came to their conclusion by modeling the movement of the molten material inside our planet using the data from European satellites that measured Earth's magnetic field. Now, let's be clear. Really, it is the magnetic field, mama's magnetic field. You, as a divine being, also have a magnetic field. That's what folks call your aura, or they call it the torus. And it can be measured. Okay? Same thing with Mama Earth. Okay? That's why you are a big part of this equation. Because as she's shifting, you're shifting also. Because your magnetic field, your magnetic poles will have to match Mama's. Okay? The center of your magnetic field is your heart chakra. The center of Mama's magnetic field, I say, is in the center of the earth, what they call, in the spiritual realm, they call it Mount Meru, up in that Arctic. Okay, that is her heart chakra. All right. The magnetic pole's radical movement has forced updates to the world magnetic models used by scientists, but Livermore's team reports that it is still on the move. Now, remember they said with the quickness. We told you all that Mama was speeding up faster and faster and faster. I told you that their technology cannot keep up with her shift. That's why they done went from 5 motherfucking G. They still ain't got that raggedy piece of shit to work. And China trying to bring on 7G. Because she moving so fast, they motherfucking raggedy ass equipment can't keep up. They can't match her frequency. That is why it is important for you as a divine being to get tuned into self, get tuned into her frequency so you can move on. You got to come off that Windows 95 motherfucking program. She ain't even on Windows 10. She done with all that shit. All right. A range of simple models that capture this process indicate that over the next decade, the North Magnetic Pole will continue on its current trajectory, traveling a further 390 to 660 kilometers towards Siberia, they write. Okay, so again, this is off of Forbes. This is Forbes. Motherfucking financial people. Now wanting to talk about the magnetic pole. Earth's magnetic North Pole is shifting dramatically from a powerful tug of war. All right? So just going to show you, they talking about Rona, but yet you ain't talking about these rapid pole movements, the reversing of the poles, and what implications that it's going to have on this planet. That is the main reason China started buying up so much land in Africa and doing agriculture, because China finna go up under ice. Now, I ain't hearing them talking about that. So now they talking about a shortage of a food supply because of Rona, when really the whole agricultural landscape is about to change because of Mother Earth. All right? So this is the time for you really, 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 and somebody said it in the chat room, to get back in your gardens and start getting your hands in the dirt, letting the sun hit your motherfucking skin or whatever. Get your hands in that dirt. Be friendly for the motherfucking plants. So in case the plants get fed up and do that happening on that ass, they know your vibration and be like, oh, all right, you cool. You can handle what I'm finna put out. This is being in tune. The chains have been lifted off of Mother Earth. They can't hold her back anymore. They cannot hold and control that frequency anymore. You cannot be held back anymore. They cannot control your frequency. Get on your job. You ain't got to be too much worried about what Trump card or any other them motherfuckers are doing. You supposed to be handling yours. Going within and getting in tuned. So yes, Sis Cheryl, thanks for bringing that up. And Brother Scotty, Saturn, Snowpiercer. I think that shit come on Sunday, y'all. Damn, I can't remember if it's TNT, one of those. It's a new series coming out called Snowpiercer, Snowpiercer. And it's about everything, well, not everything. I'm telling y'all, because we're reading the evidence that it's going to be a certain portion that's going to be iced up. So these folks get on this train. And so this series is going to be about, it's so cold in this particular place that they decide to get on this train and live on this train. All right, TNT. Thank you, Scotty Saturn. TNT. So I think it comes on this Sunday. So once again, they telling you what's going on. Mainstream media is not going to give you this. But in Hollywood's raglass defense, they kind of give you the playbook. They kind of give it to you. I don't find that a coincidence that they put this particular series out talking about something is going over ice to the point where people have to ride this train to survive. Okay, now again, that's not going to be everybody. That is not going to be everybody. That's going to be part of the earth, a part of herself that she plans to put under ice for whatever fucking reason she feel like it. That's her right. And then the rest of the part will be being repaired with the folks that can handle the vibration. All right? So, all right, I'll pause in case Sis or Brother Sean, you want to put something on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all relatively simple. But we choose to make it more complicated. We somehow try and think from their perspective because people don't know who they are.
Exactly.
So you're reaching for anything that sounds good or look like it lightweight may be plausible. But plenty of things seem plausible within the context of their wordplay in these contracts.
Right.
That people are still getting caught up into. Since I'm still hearing people talk about indexing and
Oh my God, you gotta be shitting me, right?
So I wish. And I mean,
it's sad. It's sad.
I mean, if you're gonna play the game and you're that patient with this game and you're going to be present with it, figure some things out. I mean, Trump is trying to return to the Constitution. He's put his constitutional lawyers in place. If some of these other politicians go down for the things that it appears they've done, just about all of the legislation that they put into place during their tenure can be removed. Mm-hmm. So that means your loved ones that have been incarcerated during that time, property taken, this, that, or the other. You got a million ways to sundown to play paper games. Yep. What you gonna collect from dead people? I don't know. What you gonna collect from a dead currency? I don't know. They're really not in a position to give you anything. They have nothing. They've never had anything. So they created a system that made it appear as if they had something. I mean, everything that they're using in this system, they getting from mama and your energy. All shit that was already here before they got here.
Yeah.
You know, I just wonder if you're going to play the game. I mean, at least let me look from a higher realm and be like, damn, they wrecking shit. I mean, you know, they having fun. You know, right. Instead of looking back and you're all in misery. I mean,
exactly.
If you're going to play the game, just master it. I mean, just...
Exactly. Master it. Have fun. Don't be a pawn on the chessboard. Damn, you would think you would graduate up a couple of pieces, but you know it is what it is.
I digress.
So, no, very, very good point. Okay, I think that's all of the updates that I wanted to give. Sis Sandra, just real quick, I didn't go back and listen to Brother Lex's show. You had referenced when he was talking about the Assyrians.
That was about Isaiah? It was Isaiah.
Okay. Now, I didn't go back to listen to it, but I just wanted you to know, only reason I'm bringing it up because I'm like, I know when we did the series on the ancient story myths, we went into the Assyrians and the Sumerians and how that all tied back into that Anunnaki kingdom. Yeah. So if you go to Wikipedia, they show you how that Assyrian Empire crossed over into the Roman Empire, but it used to be the Sumerian Empire originally. They actually did a pretty good job breaking that all down. So it goes back to everything that we've been talking about. It's the same group of folk, and they motherfucking stinking ass offspring causing the havoc on the planet. And I say again that when Mama was defeated, Then they came into the land and started chopping down those ancient trees and dismantling the frequency system, where we were at a much higher vibratory frequency, and then started using their devices to change the frequency, to lower the frequency, and to control the frequency. So when we get into the next series, we're going to talk about that, and shout out in the chat room to TI Production and Indigenous and Rican. Leo, I really like that screen name. That you're talking about the frequency and water. You're absolutely right. We're going to really, really talk about that, because all they did was chop down the ancient trees. And if you go back and look at Avatar, they were told that if you chop down that big tree, which is equivalent to their ancient tree, you will destroy the indigenous people. So that's pretty much what happened here. And they excavated the land. So, and, you know, shout out to John Levy, because he did a good job of showing where you can see where tools were used on stuff that we think are mountains. They're really quarries. They were really excavating the land. Literally. So I just want to bring that up. Absolutely. It makes sense.
All the deserts are quarries.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to bring out something that Gina, the space watching lady, said. She was talking about this big giant planet starship that's in the west here. Can you guys see it from where you are?
No.
It's at nighttime. It's really, 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 really bright. I know Texas can see it, and see what else. It's at Indiana. This is where she's at. They can see it.
Oh, you mean Gina Maria?
Gina Maria, yeah.
I would have to look, but she gets some awesome stuff. But they have our shit so chemtrailed up. She's in the country where she's at. But I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
She's in Indiana, I think. So she looked at this one over here that I see really clearly. She said it's a starship. She said it's a starship, and she had it posted on a video that she was looking at it. See, I can see the lights on it. They're red, white, and blue. So the bottom is red, and then the blue comes up, and then the white sometimes. The white's in the red is mostly what I see, but sometimes there's a blue. And I know they put the lights out on this thing because it's like it may be 100 feet up from a palm tree, the tallest palm tree, maybe 300 feet up, but I can see it really clear from where I am. But she says this is a starship, and it's been there since January, around the 1st of January. And I thought to myself, man, where was that? But when I see it in the evening times, it's way up, and then it comes down. And it goes backward. It goes anywhere it wants to go. I said, what kind of... I've never seen... I thought my son said it was Venus. And I said, But it's
Venus
traveling.
doing all of that backwards and shit?
So, I don't know. And maybe the pole shift, we're moving so fast. I don't know what's going on, but this thing is it goes west, it comes back, it goes up, it comes down, and I said, And you can see it in Texas. So is it a clone? I mean, what do you call them things? Not a clone, a drone. But it's huge.
And Indigenous Ann Rican says they're in Chicago, and they see it almost every night.
Yeah, it's there every night. Every night. And it travels at a speed that's really interesting because it goes, like I said, the first time I saw it, it was going to the west. And then the next night it was back. And then it's way up, and then it comes down.
Yeah, she said, and it's really close. It's real close lately.
Yeah.
Well,
very, very close, and you'd be going there. What in the world is that? So, I mean, you know, I say you guys at least they're waiting for something. My son calls it the mothership. And that, of course, we know there's thousands up there right now. And so they're waiting for something. And we can see what they're waiting for. I don't know, because we're going to be here. We're not going nowhere. So we're going to find out what they're waiting for. Right. But I just want to bring that into the equation of all the things that are happening. It's really interesting.
Yeah, dang, Reuben Simmons, you must be on the same. We must have caught each other's wave thought on the frequency, because I was just about to mention something financial and say I'm going to go into it next week as a follow-up, and you type this in the chat. Reuben goes, in Tampa, Florida, they are putting in Bitcoin machines. You can buy from $1 to $750 in gas stations. What's the F? Yeah, I mean, that's not a surprise to me. We already knew that they was changing it to a digital currency. We had already said that that's a part of the reset. And when they first came out with the little stimulus package, they had in the bill to make it digital. And then they took it out of the stimulus bill. So that's the reset. You remember that, Sean, when they had that originally in that stimulus bill?
Sure do. That was the Dems. That way they could sit up and control your money and make it disappear whenever they want to. Claim it's a glitch or something, the computer system shut down. But they're supposedly going to do away with that Bitcoin, because that Bitcoin was all part of that child trafficking and that pedophilia and all that. They was doing a lot of the deals.
Yeah, because they said Bitcoin's biggest market was the drug traffickers and the black market. Web. Exactly, the dark web and all of that jazz. So that's not going to be the official currency, because the Fed Reserve has their own. It's called a Fed coin. They had their own motherfucking digital currency.
Yeah, you got it.
But they don't, because they've been nationalized. Trump merged them. Trump got control of them now. No, they taking in all the debt and everything. You know, they buying up all the debt back up.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be the reason to go ahead and phase them out, because they're fuck ups and we don't need them.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting because they have the shell company that's really controlling everything, the BlackRock. So how's that going to factor in? So, like we said, we sit back and watch these corporate games, because at the end of the day, it's all corporate construct. Yes, a computer program, Scotty Saturn, and yes, Mr. Tyrese 21. It is a good documentary on Netflix on Bitcoin. And, again, I have to say to all of the people that don't do their motherfucking research to talk side of their motherfucking neck was saying that the digital currency wasn't going to be this and that. We told you motherfuckers that that's where they were going to. We told y'all that shit. So what the fuck ever. It always behind the curve want to talk shit, but ain't done nary research. Not nary. But what I was going to say, it was going to be a follow-up. I'll do it next week, y'all, because Brother 832 came on. Woo! He dropped that pacer. So, brother, they done scrubbed the motherfucking net on net. So I finally found something that I can give a little tidbit on, but I'm going to do it next week. So maybe that'll give me a little bit more time to try to dig up a little bit more on the payseur who really, really financed the early stuff. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Putting things into the perspective of the Nasera and Jessera, considering through that ultimately people don't have to work and there will be no currency, period. The digital currency is the predecessor to that. You're not having to have any money in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, at some point with this digital currency, you're going to have to accept a chip.
Yeah. They're going to put it in the vaccine.
No, it's not even about the vaccine. It's going to be the only way that you can access your account. Period. It ain't going to be associated with that medical. They can get you with that alone. It's the only way you can get into your account. Once they remove the fear of the vaccines, this, that, and the other, and bring these cures out, this, that, and the other, where people aren't worried about disease. The thing is to take you off into that 1,000 years of peace.
Absolutely. That's going into that AI shit. And in that upload on Amazon, I'm sorry, Brother Sean, I didn't mean to cut you off. They show all of that. They show exactly what you're talking about in that series upload. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
Because everyone is supposed to be healthy and you're supposed to be able to live hundreds of years and all this, that, and the other. So, it's all part of the new program to make you feel comfortable and want inclusion instead of wanting out of the system. So they'll fine-tune it and tweak it. Okay, well, these are the things that they've been complaining about the most. Let me go ahead and take this little stuff out the way. We ain't got to put that type of pressure on them no more. We got them begging for this. This is what they say what they begging for. They killing each other for. They out here rioting and protesting. They even go sit at home. They finally listening to everything that we say and this, that, or the other. So, those extremes will be necessary in the next program and the new system. They work the kinks out, the bugs out.
Right. In order for you to accept the new program, like you said, so to just put this plain, like going from Windows 95 to Windows 10 to whatever new they going to. Now, the new stuff they're going to is the AI stuff. And what I'm telling you is that's nothing but another simulated program at a lower frequency. Mother Earth's frequency, and this is where I think shit finna be sectioned off. I think the realms getting ready to sit up here and split. Oh, shit, Brother Sean. Maybe that's why folks keep showing back up in the motherfucking realm.
Yeah.
Because it's splitting. Exactly. So folks that's going to accept the new program, go with AI and stuff, and you got your little digital currency and all debt is wiped, and you cool, and you get to have your robot as a maid, or your robot is your little sex partner and kicking it, and you think life is good, but you're still in another simulated program at a low vibratory state. But in the meantime, the high vibrational realm, it's already gone. Folks literally that don't want no parts of that fuck shit, they on to their next journey, whatever journey they decide to create. So they're literally they're telling you what the fuck they're doing. They're giving you disclosure. And it is your choice if you want to take it. And if that's what you want to take, hey, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But enter and understand what it really is. It's just another cycle. So, all right, very good discussion, family, as usual. All right, so we're going to get back into, I'm going to read this title again because I still cannot believe I get emails and people coming in the chat asking me, what's the title of that, in the comments, what's the title of that book? I'm like, oh my God, I say it in the beginning of every show, oh my God. White Trash, The 400-Year Untold History of Class in America by Nancy Eisenberg. All right. Here we go. The New Republicans revived the old critique of Washington and Jefferson. Southern agriculture depleted the soil and turned the land into waste. All right? So here we go again. That's why we keep telling y'all, this shit ain't new. This shit ain't new. This just a motherfucking remix. This is the remix. We told y'all that when Europeans brought their motherfucking stinking asses over here, and we talking melanated, they fucked up the land because the way they agricultural things, they have fucked up their own land. Just the way they were doing farming, because it was out of harmony with nature. Because truth be told, you really shouldn't be planting the way that they're running agricultural today. You're supposed to be planting it in a way that they call it companion planting. You're supposed to be mimicking as close as you can to how nature would do it. But because folk are greedy and they don't know how to live in harmony, they plant out of harmony with nature and they strip the soil from its nutrients. Okay? And not to mention, which, thanks to this author, I didn't even know. Thanks to this author and John Levy and a couple of other YouTube channels, I didn't even know that the Americas and the coast, off the coast of Europe, that even our coastlines, a lot of that shit was artificially built up. Specifically, now it makes sense, Rhonda, when they call the South low country, that's because that shit was swampland. So they came up to build it up to create those particular states. So South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, all of that shit, all that southern coastline. Well, I think Georgia, South Carolina, part of North Carolina, I know that's called low country. I know for a fact that's called low country, so I'm assuming that they built that up. But I do know parts of Florida was built up also. All right? So even California, let's get on Cali. Cali was motherfucking separate. It was its own island. So they built that bridge per se to make California connect with the quote, quote, mainland. All right? So I find it, I'm sorry, go ahead, sis, go ahead.
Isn't it interesting that these earthquakes, these major earthquakes, are always on that side, the west side of California, where they built that at? And they like to make it sound like the Andreas Fault, you know. That's probably where they started to build, on the Andreas Fault, because that land is always moving. And
but don't it make sense why it's moving? Because it's like, bitch,
yeah,
you ain't supposed to be here. Shake, yeah.
Yep. A lot of people get killed when that thing happens like that.
Because remember, some people saying that prophecy says that California going to break back off. Well, they didn't say back off, but they say it's going to break off into an island again.
Well, you know, there was a Navy map, and that was when BP Earth was talking, and it was showing that most of California is broke off, and it's oceanfront property all the way like 100 some odd miles from the ocean, because it broke off that much. So they did a lot of building to make it that.
Yeah. And shout out to Sis Cheryl says that Florida is below sea level. I thought so, sis. Like, I know New Orleans is for fucking sure. We do know that. I thought Florida was below, but I didn't want to misquote. And then Mr. Tyrese21 says, yes, Michelle Gibson, I'm assuming that's researched heavy on raising the Americas, showing vault lightning / prism light engraved in sidewalks, proving there's another level beneath your feet. Absolutely, Mr. Tyrese21, because remember, even when we did that giant series and that author talked about how the Greeks, and then they build on top with the ruins of the Romans. Now, it even goes deeper than that, like Mr. Tyrese21 is saying, because John Levy and them in the mud flood community, they are going and finding on Google Maps and them, they see different ley lines. They see all of the star forts. They see different roads and shit. So meaning it's a total ancient civilization beneath. So we're talking, now this is just Rhonda's humble opinion. We're talking multiple resets. Multiple resets. Resetting the realm and just rebuilding on top of the realm, like Brother Sean said, tweaking it a little bit to keep it moving.
Can't forget the giants. We built on top of the giant stuff.
Right, built on top of the giant shit.
Some of that shit still being used. Still being used to this day.
Absolutely. And the tripped out part about it is that the architectural gets shittier and shittier. So meaning the giant shit was on point. They couldn't replicate the giant shit. Then if you want to bring the Moors into that after that, because I say the Moors are master builders, they can't replicate the Moors shit to this day. But we supposed to be, quote, quote, technology advanced. How? I can't motherfucking tell. When you can't even get a house to last, or you get some shit built today and think that bitch finna last for 30 years without putting some show enough money in it. They can't even replicate what was built 100 years ago. So, all right, y'all. Okay, so the new Republicans revived the old critique of Washington and Jefferson. Southern agriculture depleted the soil and turned the land into waste. Helper published tables proving the North's greatest productivity over the South. George Weston quoted prominent Southern men in his influential pamphlet, The Poor Whites of the South, to make the case that the South was doomed to remain economically backward. All knew that poor whites were cursed because they were routinely consigned to the worst land, sandy, scrubby pine, and swampy soil. Oh, damn, sis, don't that sound like Florida? I know South Carolina got that sandy soil too, in low country, literally in low country. All right. This was how they became known in the mid-19th century as sand hillers and pineys. The mid-19th century as sand hillers and pineys. Forced to the margins, often squatting on land they did not own. They were regularly identified with the decaying soil. The poor whites of Hard Scratch were, in the words of one of the, stony, stumpy, and shrubby as the land they lived on. In a throwback to Buffon, Helper insisted that the degenerate population produced men and animals that were dwarfed into shabby objects. In 1854, Henry David Thoreau took the same thing to its darkest corner of the imagination. The slave South was a rotting corpse, he wrote, and should be best used to manure the colonizing West. Well, damn. Equating poor whites with human detritus, he described a people whose only function was to act as fertilizer for the territories. Damn, y'all. And I have to say, some people from the North still have that connotation to people in the South, still to this day. And especially people in California. You know, I have literally heard jokes coming from these quote, quote, celebrities, Caucasian celebrities, talking about how backwards the South is. And I just kind of laugh. I'm like, but look how fucked up California is. How the fuck you gonna talk about the South when your shit is raggedy? But anyhow, yeah, that type of ideology still exists. In her novel Dread, Harriet Beecher Stowe was no less harsh. Her planters dismissed the whole race of poor whites. This tribe of creatures, or as one of her characters ruefully declared, there ought to be hunting parties, got up and chased them down and exterminate them, just as we do rats. Damn. The author depicted a white trash woman and her children as wounded animals hiding in the forest. Crouched on a pile of dirty straw sat a miserable, haggard woman with large, wild eyes, sunken cheeks, disheveled, matted hair, and long, lean hands like bird claws. At her skinny breast, an emancipated infant was hanging, pushing with his little skeleton hands as if to force nourishment which nature no longer gave. And two scared-looking children with features wasted and pinched blue with famine were clinging to her gown. The whole group huddled together, drawing as far as possible away from the newcomer, looking up with large, frightened eyes like hunted wild animals. Damn, that's a damn shame. This is white on white motherfucking crime, y'all. Damn, that's cold-blooded. Stowe's point was that poor Southern whites were already exiled, whose only hope was to be lifted up by others. But would that happen? The contempt she put into the mouths of Southern planters was not solely of her invention. Many planters loathed poor whites for their criminal activity and especially the role they played alongside slaves in the trafficking of stolen goods. Damn, y'all. So now, Ruff, am I reading this author correctly? That they were putting slaves and poor whites in the same category of no good, lazy, wastefulness? That's what I'm reading. All right.
You know,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
Sometimes I think that attitude has never left people. I don't care how much you try to take the boy out of the country. You can't take the country out of the boy, they say. And so when you look at all the child trafficking and how they kind of like dispose of people's bodies and stuff when they kill them, they act like they're just really nothing but trash, just disposable garbage. And they seem to be insulted when they have to go to trial. And a lot of these people are going to go to trial for all of this stuff they've done. But see, the what you're saying in those books is the rationale that has been embedded into their brains for centuries since they first came to this country, how people see them. And that's kind of hard to change if you don't readjust your mindset. In other words, what I'm saying is they making an excuse for killing those people and disposing of them like they're nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to put something on what you said, sis, but I don't want this to go too far up in the chat room. Sis Cheryl drops in the chat. Delaware, Georgia, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Alabama, Connecticut are all below or at sea level. So now, that would make sense when folks state in their prophecy, prediction, and supposedly and allegedly the alphabet boys have a map of how the U.S. is going to look and how the coastline is going to be changed. So basically the coastline is going to move up. So Florida's going to be gone. New York, it's going to go, Florida's going to go underwater. New York, all of that. And I think it supposedly is going to hit the middle of Georgia.
California, too.
And California's going to split back off into an island. And then the Mississippi is going to flood out also. So where it's going to be split in half. And so Sis Cheryl says they also call them red legs. Red legs. Yes, Purple Pill. Mississippi could turn into the world's largest lakes. Yes, that's what I saw in that map. So if all of that was shit, that's pretty much the entire coastline. Damn, yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
What they're doing, they're making the most money off of that land, off of the people wanting to live at the ocean. And I'd be going, what for you? Don't you know?
Well, goddammit, they better either learn how to build them some shit underwater or get the fuck on. Because it ain't like Mama Earth haven't been telling them.
I know it.
That the shit's going to flood. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she been telling them. So it is what it is.
I agree.
It is what it is. But, I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
They act like it's going to go on forever. And everybody's... I watch House Hunters all the time. I like to watch that. See what people buy.
Yeah, I do too. And
they always say, I want an ocean view. I want a lake view. I want to be at the water. And I'd be thinking, for what? But maybe it's because I have foresight and they have no sight except for what they see in front of them. I don't know. But that's
well, they better get ready because I am getting a feeling that over these next couple of years, that shit finna come into fruition. So I say within 5 years.
I really agree with you.
Within 5 years.
Yep.
So it is what it is. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
I mean, you have to imagine that although natural, majority of the foods that we've been eating have been low vibrational themselves.
True.
There's no love in the farming. When people putting their hands in the dirt, they're not connecting with mama. They have nothing but woes and low energy and pain and sorrow and suffering to inject into our foods.
Right, that's true.
To inject into mama.
Yep.
They hate it.
That's supposed to be something you enjoy. That's like back in the day when Grandma cooked for you. She cooked with love. That's why everything tasted so goddamn good.
So good. Yeah.
And she made it from scratch, too.
Yep.
Nothing but the freshest ingredients.
Yep.
And enough for everybody.
No shortcuts. No half-stepping. Everything had to be the real deal.
Real butter. Real everything.
Yep. And it's interesting, and I stand by what I said. I've been saying it for the last couple years that Mother Earth's vibration is rising so high and so fast that it's impacting everything, including the soil, because underneath is that the plasma, her energy centers. So even the fruits and vegetables are going to be uneditable to some folks based on their vibration rate. And I'm sticking to that shit. And especially after seeing that happening, I'm like, oh shit, these plants ain't fucking playing with these people. Because, yeah, people take simple things as food for granted. Don't respect the animals that the sacrifice their motherfucking life that was treated like shit in the process, went through trauma. That's bad enough. But even the vegetables. So don't get your ass on your back because you're a vegetarian or you're a vegan. If you don't respect the plants and enter and understand the sacrifice that the plant is making to sustain you, then you just as in the motherfucking wrong as well. And this shutdown is supposed to be giving everyone a rude awakening to pay attention to the fucking food supply, the way you get food, what you should be doing. People should be getting in tune. Folks have fallen so far, I had to literally tell an old motherfucking head how to cook a fucking pot of beans. I bullshit you not. I cannot fucking make this up. Yeah, I put some beans on, and it took forever. And then when I ate them, they was, still wasn't all the way done. Well, did you soak the beans overnight? Oh. I'm like to myself, God damn it. Big Mama, I can't believe this bullshit. Strike them, God damn it. How you don't know how to make a motherfucking pot of beans? That's how far folks have fallen. That shit is deep to me. Rona and this lockdown should be a huge awakening. I told y'all that the fucking food supply was going to change. I fucking told you. This is a huge awakening. It is not going back to the way it used to be. Let me say this again. It is not going back to the way it used to be. They're even giving you motherfucking outright in mainstream media telling you motherfuckers you better find another source of protein because you ain't going to be able to depend on meat as your main source of protein. Literally, I saw on the news them telling them about different beans and this vegetable, this, and I was sitting there with my mouth open like, I hope folks are really fucking paying attention.
Did you see that all these chicken farms are burning up? These manufacturers of chickens?
Yeah, that shit is a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, but you know that that Purdue dude, he in on that with Gates as far as for trying to that lab meat.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Lab meat grown in the lab.
Fuck that. You better get up out in that yard and grow you as much as you can. You better learn how to get you some motherfucking canning books and can your shit up and hook up with a local farmer. That's what the fuck you better be doing. But in the chat room, Market Drake, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, sweetie. My brother is a truck driver, and he travels state to state. He told me 2 years ago there's no food on the shelves in every state. And I've been saying that, I've been telling y'all this shit for at least 3 years. At least 3 years I've been telling y'all. The food supply is going to drastically change. So I'm going to say this again, because you done probably already missed out on the seeds. If you ain't got no seeds, you better get them motherfuckers. If you buying organic vegetables or whatever, you better save them motherfucking seeds out of there. Go get you some mason jars now before the shit that runs out. Get you some vinegar. You better get your motherfucking canning on. All right? And the saddest part about it, there is no shortage, but we have allowed someone to feed us, which has always been dangerous. So we're disconnected from the land. And as this person, I had to walk this person through how to make a motherfucking pot of beans. I swear, I'm still just, now, I'm not going to get on my millennials and my Zs. Because if my generation didn't teach them that, they wouldn't know. But somebody in my generation, goddammit, I know Big Mama and your mama knew how to cook some motherfucking beans. Now you got me fucked up. What the fuck you mean you don't know how to put on no pot of beans? But beans are the easiest thing to grow. The absolutely easiest thing to grow. And full of nutrition. There is no shortage on the planet. Shortages are created. So just start preparing yourself. Start preparing yourself. Get your frequency together. Because the soil is going to raise its frequency, which is going to impact the plants. The water that you water the plants with, since Mother Earth's frequency is rising, so are the water molecules' frequency will rise. That takes in, the plants are taking that in, so the plants' vibrations are going to rise. So your body has to be in tune to be able to accept it. So yeah, Brother Sean, they pushing a motherfucking artificial Frankenstein meat, because folks know that they got a fucked up vibration and they system are not going to be able to eat the natural stuff.
I think things are going to get to the point where if we are vibrating higher enough,
yeah, we won't have to eat at all.
Exactly.
Agreed. Totally agree.
I'm sitting up trying to remember whether it was a cartoon, Twilight Zone, or something. The people could have been lost in space, but they was on this other planet. They went to eat some vegetables, and the vegetables was alive and could talk and everything, and wound up eating them.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's why I tell vegetarians and vegans that want to look down at meat eaters, motherfucker, are you respecting that plant? Because that plant making a sacrifice for your stinking ass.
Because they've already proven that plants have an aura and that they can sense when other plants are in danger. They sense, quote unquote, fear. That smell when the grass is cut, that's actually a distress signal.
Yep. I mean, going back to that movie, The Happening. Absolutely. The plants are so motherfucking tight. I could be nodding off, and if one of my plants are in distress, where I'd have neglected on watering them, they will literally send me a picture message like, "Bitch, you see me drooping in your dream? Get the fuck up and water me." Literally. Mm-hmm. That's how tight plants are.
It's all part of one system. They're rooted
exactly
within Mama.
Yep.
And we're supposed to be. All life here, we're supposed to be a part of, especially everything that comes out of Mama. Because our ancestors are said to have grown from the earth, to have grown from Mama. I mean, we've just fallen so far. I mean, look at trees, grass. They grow with sunlight and water.
Yep.
Think how big everything would grow if somebody didn't decide to tell us, "Oh, you have to keep your grass cut so low.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have this in it. You can't have that in it." I mean, like you were saying, as far as for certain things growing in conjuncture of one another.
Right.
Imagine what that air quality was like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, that could be part of the reason that there are no more giants. The oxygen level
changed. That's true. That's true.
You know, or we could say the frequency. But, you know, so that brings me to these different time zones. The more I think about it, it actually sounds like different dimensions or different planes.
Damn. Say that again, just in case people didn't catch that.
Different time zones, different planes or different dimensions. Because the time, as far as for the quote-unquote rotation of the sun,
mm-hmm.
even things as far as for in business, you know, like with the stock market, gas prices at one thing in the morning, at another thing at noon, and at another price in the evening.
Right.
It also rotates like that in each time zone. But that was just a thought.
Yeah, that's kind of deep, because remember, time, and shout out to the brother that put me up on that, time is emit backwards. So emit a frequency, and that would also line up with the freezing, Mama freezing certain parts of herself, and that snow piercer thingy that's going to come on TNT Sunday. These are going to be different dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Because I also think about how when you go from one coast to the other, or even when you go from up north to down south, the changes that your body goes through.
I'm a witness to that, absolutely.
I mean, that could have to do with the sea level. That's still placing it into a whole different dimension or space.
Yeah, and I remember, and you probably remember this too, Brother Sean and Sis. Remember when your grandmother and them used to say, you got thin blood if you were cold all the motherfucking time, your blood need to thicken up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a witness to that because when I moved from north to south, they was all in winter coats. I'm like, what the fuck wrong with them? Then my body got used to it. Then when I moved from south to north, everybody was laughing at me, and although I'm still like that, I'm like, shit, this is fucking cold. So, yeah, that's a very, very good point. A very, very good point. Oh, okay, 832, I'm coming to you, sweetie. Damn, y'all be getting down in the chat. Okay, Mark Walker, I'm just going to shorten your name, sweetie pie, so I won't butcher it. I also heard that the winter in North America was created, hence them spraying chemtrails for 70 years, lowering the land's frequency. Now, that's a fucking good point. So, with mama reversing that shit up, baby, let me tell you, it's finna be on and popping. You hear me? So that means North America coming up off of the cold, and Siberia and China and them motherfucking ass, Russia and them, they about to be froze the fuck up. So North America, oh shit, y'all tight. I just love my family. Y'all tight. All right, y'all, let's put this shit together. Now, Deep H2O, I don't have low iron. Actually, they tried to put me on iron pills back in the day, but I started eating, that's when I changed up my diet and went from meat-based diet to plant-based. So I was eating more greens, and I got rid of the iron problem, and I didn't take no fucking iron pills. My body just don't want to fuck with the cold no more. That's all. But no, let's put this together right quick, y'all. So, North America is going to go back to tropical, but the coastline is going to be changed, and Siberia, Russia, China, and them ass about to go up under ice. This is finna get interesting. And the Arctic is thawing out. Woo! Y'all get ready. Get ready, baby. So start gardening it. And it's just a way to, family, just to get you back connected to the land. You feel so much better. You really do. You feel so much better. Yes, Mr. Tyrese 21. Collard greens reverse iron deficiency. Yes, collards have a lot of iron in them. Sister Divinity said, oh, well. What you say, oh, well, about the going up under ice? Yeah, it is what it is, because I done took and told people, Mama got the last word on this. So people could talk shit all they want to. I'm going to have my motherfucking pinto beans and my collards. Yep, with my hot sauce, H2O, deep H2O. And I'm going to be motherfucking chilling. It is what it is. All right, brother 832, here we go. 832, your line is open. Peace and love, brother.
Ryder! Sandra! My sisters from other vistas! Feathers up!
Feathers up, brother.
United Snakes of America down! Sean, my brother from another mother, sitting on Mount Olympus, throwing them black lightning bolts down today.
Indeed, bro.
Segueing from the last thing you said, just a quick TV review. Have you heard about the show Snowpiercer?
Yeah, since Cheryl dropped that in the chat, I think it come on this Sunday. We all gonna check that out.
Now that's supposed to be the planet is 117 degrees below zero, and motherfuckers on a train that runs uninterrupted worldwide.
That's what they say worldwide, but
the situation that would present ourselves, as you're just pointing out, this circumstance that we find ourselves, we are under the rule and the terrorism of foreign. We're under rule of terrorism. And what's happening for us is that we are giving authority to people who have none. The whole premise that obviously has flipped the script, as you have said to this unending conversation about white trash, the 400-year untold history of class in America. Do you know the nerve of the turtle, the tortoise from Kentucky, the bigot, said that Barack Hussein Obama was classless? You heard that little bullshit quote that he made, right? That he should shut his mouth. Right? Here again, a white man ain't gonna try to tell a black man that no matter your age, no matter your station, no matter you are the so-called most powerful man in the world, boy, sit down and shut up. You know, the arrogance, the sheer hubris of these European so-called white Caucasoid alien foreign invading immigrant horde are trying to tell us what we have the ability to be, to exist, to express, literally even to express ourselves in their presence. How ironic is that when these beings, and again, to me, the jury is still out whether to use the term human, because from what I can see, they are inhumane. You know? We are going around elevating them into some level of position of power, some level of authority, some level of actual tolerance, as in they are telling us that they are tolerating us, when it's the actual reverse. Now, everything that you've been pointing out, whether this is a climactic change going on or not, the constant conversation we're having that is causing us the problem that we have is the issue of identity crisis, correct?
Yep.
I could point out all kinds of examples of we are the only, what makes us unique and specific is because we have had multiple name changes from labeling by outsiders trying to define who we are since they invaded our homeland. And who are they, by the way? Now, the attention and the focus is continuously on us. Why? We're under assault. We have been invaded. We have been oppressed. We have been told a mythology out of Africa, etc. We have been told that our original ancestors have been exterminated, whether it was with biological warfare, smallpox in a blanket, up into COVID-19 America. When the fact still remains, if that had happened, why are we even under consideration? Why is the focus on us at all? We're being told that we are irrelevant, that we are inferior, based on being defined in comparison to them called white supremacy, right? How does that work?
Right.
You know, the irony of all this stuff is whiteness requires blackness. For whiteness to exist and to perpetuate some so-called superior position requires for blackness to exist and take an inferior position, correct? I mean, that is the fundamental issue at hand that we're discussing here, correct? And I don't know if you were able to dig it up. I asked you last week, bring out that sound of blackness so we can, underscore here it's about the blackness, blackness.
Oh, yeah, I actually have that. I'll rock out with that.
I can go on time after time after time to show that all of the origin of life comes from some dark, melanated, or what is described as black substance. We've gone through dark matter, to the Oort cloud, the black goo, the actual melanin that is the source of human life. All that is so-called white, starting with the scientific condition of albinism, ends in one thing, death. So if black, quote unquote, using that colloquialism loosely, if blackness is the source of life, whiteness, by definition, is the source of death. But we already have that script flipped, as we can see. Just in the same parallel universe, if you will, that you're describing, they were white and they were slaves. I believe that would be considered as synonymous. The whiteness in and of itself, if you were to stay in the context of scientific study, albinism is a slave to death. Albinos in everything, whether human life, going down to its animal life, find very difficult circumstances to be seen as any healthy situation. They have difficulty in procreation. We all know of seeing albinos and having some either directly or indirectly in our families. What we used to be told back in the day is they still have African features with absolutely depigmented pale skin, correct? And where did you say those people they originated in? I think it was Sandra who keeps bringing that up in some cases. But those ancient maps you talked about, those are the beings that came out of the caves? Or those were the beings that were, like you said too, had some African civilizations independent, some monarchies that were independent on the African mainland? Well, then where did these Caucasoid, so-called, European, so-called, pale, so-called, Michael Bradley called them the Iceman's inheritance, which they would be reverting back to that if the planet goes into some frigid state, expanding from Siberia and the poles, Antarctica, to how far inland? Would that be them going back home then? They go back home to some iceberg? Or do they go back where that judge told them from France, because he said in his ruling that the so-called white person was not indigenous to the planet? Each and every time that we have this discussion, we always going around trying to explain what? This is what is somewhat frustrating to me. We're always trying to explain their behavior in regards to their abuse directed at us. Again, that's still no different than you keep asking the domestic violence victim, the rape survivor, to explain why she was raped, why she continuously suffers the violence, why she continuously is abused by a man. What is the explanation why they keep treating us in the fashion that they do? What is the explanation? Did you see this last week, which is going to be very interesting because I know that comes down. Where is Brunswick in comparison to where you are? Because you're still in ATL, right?
No, I'm actually I'm actually in Ohio now, but Brunswick is south of Atlanta. Brunswick literally sits on the coast, and it's in between the two Georgia islands, Jekyll and Tabby and Savannah. Right? You're
talking about Gullah Geechee land. You're talking about Gullah Geechee land.
Yep, you might as well say that, absolutely. So, yeah, that's where Brunswick sits.
So then, let me throw another little thing for your perspective. The infamous so-called house Negro to some people, Clarence Thomas, at Pinpoint, Georgia. Did you know that's where he got his origin and why he had why he's so soft-spoken? Did you know that about him? That he was raised as a child speaking Gullah Geechee?
I didn't know that. Interesting. But you know a lot of them Gullah Geechees running around talking about they from Africa. But go ahead.
Well, yeah,
sorry,
again,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, no, but that's pulling out the mythology of that we originated from Africa. That's no different than Kunta Kinte. That's no different than Boudan and Voodoo and Haiti and New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, this amalgamation mix of trying to continue to perpetuate the mythology that we are from somewhere else, which makes us vacate our birthright, being the actual descendants of the original inhabitants of this landmass. Continue to tolerate foreign invading immigrant hordes who, I don't care where they originated from, are not from here. I don't give a damn how long they've been here and how many babies they've spat out over how many centuries. Their point of origin is not here. They continue to try to convince us, even in today with 2020's current census of self-identification, that we are not the descendants of the copper-colored American. This is very clear to me. It's a simple thing to me. But I know we have this constant discussion because we're amongst our ignorant relatives and friends and relations and people that we love. By their definition, again, everything we're using, we're speaking a foreign language, we're speaking in English. We are taking the definition of Merriam-Webster of the English language. He himself, as Dane loves to do repeatedly in all of his videos, is used the 1828 dictionary that says the American is the copper-colored inhabitant that these people encountered coming here. And that is only one people. By that simple definition, there is only one true American. Now, calling yourself a European American, an Asian American, Hispanic American, Native American is an adjective descriptor attached to only one authentic American, and that is us. Everybody else is either a United States citizen or a federally recognized Native American agent of federal invasion.
Right.
This is our dilemma. This is where we are stuck in a time warp, or like, the movie Groundhog's Day. Every day we wake up and we're continuously confused, combating with the fact that we refuse to address, which others are hoping to God we don't wake up and come to that conclusion, that nobody deserves to be. Sean says this repeatedly, and I cannot co-sign with you more than I can this moment, Sean. 100%. They got to go. I used to say that to you frequently when we first started talking to me. Joe, I don't give a damn. The last call for alcohol. You ain't got to go home. But you got to get the hell up out of here. You have overstayed your welcome. You are not paying rent. In fact, squatters, whether they're in Cali, South Kakalaki, North Vermont, Maine, or even the outer, the outer limits of Wyoming and Big Sky Country. You are not wanted here. Never have been. You have come and taken advantage of my hospitality. You have violated my person, raped my woman, kidnapped my children, invaded my house, tore my shit up, and had the nerve to charge me. It's called black tax. Right, sister?
Yeah.
They have a brother, I forgot what university system, I can't think of his name right now. He actually has an academic book entitled that, Black Tax from Cradle to Grave, or somewhere. I'm paraphrasing what the title of the book is. But he has shown time and again where it is extracted from the people who are called nigger, negro, colored, mulatto, octoroon, quadroon, Balalian / African American. And now, as you see in the latest label that's 5 syllables, the BIPOC, the Black Indigenous People of Color, evolving out of the American descendants of slaves, the ADOS movement. I mean, how many goddamn variations of misidentification are we going to tolerate before we come to full circle? Is one simple word, either American or autochthonous. They're not synonymous. Autochthonous is single and independent of its own. There is no precursor of it. All other words evolved from it. Native, indigenous, original, aboriginal. They're all used as reference points to describe what autochthonous is. But autochthonous is the beginning and the end. American is what the first mislabel put on us by them coming in contact with our original ancestors. But be that as it may, nobody is an American but us. Everybody, and this is what we need to really start getting some serious, intelligent dialogue about, whether we participate in the census or not. The self-identification process of that over the course of this year is to determine what we do or do not have. I'll wrap up with this, Rhonda. Have you seen that last video that Dane has put out? And he put a 2-part series, still trying to find the first part, about logical thinking. And he did a 1- and 2-part series on slave labels. These are the most recent videos that he's put out on his channel. But simply put, when we go through this process of this year of being self-identified or participating in the census or not, in the enumeration of the census, it starts out by stating, I'm paraphrasing again here now, omitting Indians not taxed. Then the enumerators, which most people don't know in 1790, were the United States Marshals. They have now been evolved into other citizens who are basically brought in as operating agents of this federal enterprise. But the original lawful enumeration of the population was under the United States Marshals, which is the only federal authorized law enforcement representative, if you will, which was attached to the United States Postal Service. And who was the first Postmaster General? Benjamin Franklin. Okay? In 1790, it was said to omit Indians not taxed. Put that aside for a second. Just start with that context. That's the first clause in the instruction of enumeration. Then it said distinguishing free persons. Again, take that for a beat there, because you understand who they intended to define a free person was. But it then says, comma, including those bound to service. Now, could you explain to me, please, how you are a free person and bound to service? Then it further went to say distinguishing free persons based on gender. Again, I'm paraphrasing here now on how they were describing who were the actual populations in the very first census count of 1790, which determined the so-called representation of the population that time referred to as the original 13 colonies, correct? So in 1790, George Washington was already president. How was he president when there was no vote by the population?
Exactly.
Second, the House of Representatives had not been established if there was yet to be a census taken for the enumeration written in the Constitution of how to determine who the House of Representatives were, right? So if the count hadn't been taken, and this is May the 1st of 1790, and George Washington was not obviously elected, so therefore he must was selected president of the United States in 1789. And selected by who? The persons who were the legislature representatives of the 13 colonies. So again, showing by fact, an exclusive group of so-called free, white, male, over 21, and landowning. You know that was the specific definition of citizenship of this enterprise that said excluding, I'm just changing the word omitting, excluding Indians not taxed. So then what does that mean by declaration? If you are excluded, you do not follow jurisdiction, correct?
That is correct.
If you are not taxed, which taxes are by definition voluntary, they have no contract with you, correct?
That is correct.
And if you are excluded, which is very ironic to me, how can you omit something that does not exist or you do not acknowledge? But again, I ask in reverse, then who the fuck are Indians not taxed? That then presumes there are some Indians that are taxed. Wouldn't the opposite of that be the case?
Yeah.
It also presumes that in your enumeration of counting the population, you are only counting a specific group that you are defining to be free persons, because you have two subcategories bound to service, and you already go through that explanation repeatedly on what we've been told in, common history classes as so-called indentured servitude. Then you have slaves. Then you have what is property then? Because those two connotations can take on different flavors, but both of them are supposed to be temporary, transitional, transactional periods of time that you can earn your way out of, correct? Because when the transportation penalties for debtor prisoners in Europe transported over here, that's what the word transportation comes from. It is a punishment to be released from debtor prison, because the only option you had was death. They put people who were poor to death. They gave them an option, just like they did poor Negroes here after World War II, the option of going to jail or going to the military.
Right.
So when you came here, your punishment of transportation to earn off transporting your behind here 5, 7, or sometimes stretched to 20 years was the indentured servitude contract. The slave was a by choice, supposedly, of the quote-unquote, I'm using again air quotes here, master that allowed you to be either what, manumitted or to earn terms of service over time. Then what is the category of property? The category of property was a human being owned in perpetuity. That's when we flipped the script of the definition of slavery and put it on your womb. Said the so-called black or melanated woman gave birth to a slave. Where is that anywhere in the history of humankind, Rhonda? Where? In all the books, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, where has a person been born a slave? Than here in the United Snakes of America. So when we start having more intelligent discourse and start truly breaking this down and understand any and everything that has come from this corporate, evil, criminal enterprise called the United States of America, it is always on their head, not on ours. We can keep trying to align ourselves with them as we want. We can keep trying to pursue an agenda of integration, and we are the only ones who do that. We can keep trying to forgive and turn the other cheek with these people when it is irrelevant. And we can keep ignoring our DNA mandate from our ancestors. That's what's rising up in us now, along with the ascension of Mother Earth. Because, as Sean said, this shit has to go. And
it has to go. Indeed. Damn, I should have had my explosion together. When we go to the new little system, I'm going to have that shit right at my fingertips, because that deserves an explosion. So here we go. Thank you so much, Brother 832. Real quick, Mark Walker, they know they're going to be gone. That's why they wrote all of their most important information on paper and not something finite. They're going to try and burn their karma. You fucked me up with that one. Why else would they have their most important documents on something that's gonna be destroyed? So very, very good, excellent point, Mark An excellent point, as always, Brother 832. I'm going to say this again. Caucasians, you have to make a decision. Choice is yours. You want to keep going with the lies and the construct, suffer the consequences and the karmic debt associated with it? Or are you going to try to clear up your ancestry karma associated with the 250 something odd years that you have benefited from this corporate system? So nobody gets a pass. Melanated folk got their ass handed to them, is going to get their asses handed to them. Caucasians, you got to make a decision. This is it. This is it. So you have to know who you are also. You have to do the research on your ancestry. And stop lying to yourself and your current and your future generation, because literally, your fucking life depends on it. Literally. And it's a goddamn shame they're not being honest, telling you about this UV radiation and how it's off the charts and what that means to your genetic makeup, your skin that cannot process that UV radiation.
Yes, yes.
So you have to get your head up out the sand too. Or not. It is your choice. This is wake up time for everybody. Nobody gets a pass. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
But see, that's what the next pandemic is going to be.
Oh, shit. Come on now. Break it down a little bit more.
Now, you know they already got other things patented. And every time they release a new patent, it's in accordance with us reaching new levels.
Mm-hmm. From a frequency perspective.
Exactly. So it's something to prevent us from fully coming online. We buy off into the program. They tell us the parameters of the program. It does this. It attacks that. It's supposed to happen. That's supposed to happen. And then you accept the program.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're experiencing those things.
Mm-hmm.
It was all supplanted mentally.
Yeah, because your frequency tunes into it. Exactly.
Right. You had to install the program. All they done was handed it to you. You installed the program. You installed the software. They didn't make you do it. Everything is voluntary.
It really is.
Just because it's out there don't mean you have to accept it.
That is correct. Especially
if you know who and what you are.
You are, absolutely.
Do you know that that's something that they're trying to emulate off of you?
Exactly.
You still refuse. You refuse to accept greatness.
Mm-hmm. Refuse. Exactly.
Y'all act like that's the worst thing in the world. To be great. You say you gods and goddesses and this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
But you don't want to achieve greatness.
Nope.
You rather live in the greatness that the ancestors achieved.
Exactly. Damn, that's a good point. Woo.
And still overlook the point that they fell from that greatness.
Sure did.
We're at the point in this journey where there isn't supposed to be any more falling. The only way you fall is into the system. And that was something we agreed upon at some point in time, to go through that whole experience of falling and bringing ourselves back up. The program has been infected. It's a virus in the program.
Absolutely.
It's no longer safe. It's not what we originally intended. But just like we created this program, don't you think we could do much better?
Indeed.
But, that's just me, though. I mean, y'all like what y'all like, and I can't be mad at you about it, because people like all type of weird shit. I mean, I guess that's what.
Indeed, Brother Sean. So that's why I said 4%. I'm not fucking interested in the day.
Can I
bring me back what you are doing? What world do you want to live in? Create it. Go ahead, sis.
Well, to me, as I perceive it, this lockdown, this Rona, has brought them to the reality of the limit they're going to go. It's not going to elevate them any further than what they already are. It's going to lower them. I watch a lot of game shows and stuff like that, and I see in house hunters especially too, they see their arrogance as they pick and choose and belittle other cultures' stuff. And this virus has stopped them from growing any further, because most of them are not going to make it. They're unemployed. Their finances are going to run out, and they're going to be brought right back down where they used to be. It's the workers, and have this universal currency as slaves with their little chips running around. That's what I see. A lot of them are not going to make it, because Rona has, by their deceit with this Rona, they have tricked them into giving up what they had. They're not going to recover from this. And what was their purpose in life? One guy was on House Hunters. He said, home ownership is my primary thing in my family. And I said, you don't own nothing. This is not your land. But they think they do. And so what the globalist has done, or whoever's doing this, has brought them back to heel. That's how I see it. Because the bankers have bought their debts up, so they're slaves again.
That's a very good point, sis. That's a very good point. The shutdown should be a rude awakening for everyone.
Yep.
And everyone has been put on notice.
Right.
It's showing you that the shit wasn't real to begin with.
And for us, we don't have anywhere to fall.
It's showing you what's important.
Yeah, they have us down already. So it's really to bring them down, because they had taken over everything. I mean, there was
90 seconds.
Sacred about their hands touching it because they took it off. So now it's bringing them to heal. That's how I perceive it.
Yeah, people giving you shout out in the chat room. Deep H2O said, on point, Sandra. Their account is due.
It's due. It's done.
Oh, and actually, Deep H2O said, actually, past due.
Yeah.
60 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge motherfucking awakening for everybody. So Caucasians, I'm trying to tell you, and it's not my responsibility to tell you. I'm just putting you up on game. The gig is up. So all that concept of white supremacy, that shit is over with. They are showing you that the system is being dismantled. Now that should be enough to shake you up within itself. Let's get back on the real, because that system is a fucking mirage and matrix. Let's get on the motherfucking real. I am telling you, the planet has moved on. Her vibration is rapidly rising. That UV radiation, that shit ain't no fucking joke. When you see them bright colors in the skies, that's UV radiation. And the shit has sped up so fast that not only are you seeing it when the sun set and the sun rise, god damn it, it be night. And you see flashes of UV radiation. Purple, green, purple, green, purple, green, purple, green, purple, green. I am telling you, nothing is going back to normal. Everything will change. So get your shit together. You got a choice. You want to keep living in La La Land and that fake ass construct that was created? Or do you really want to get real with yourself and clean up your motherfucking bloodline? The choice is yours. Because you are being told. You are literally being told. Nothing is going back to the way it used to be. Nothing. Get the fuck over it. So, all right, very good points, family. Very good points. All right. It says Styles' point was that poor Southern whites were already exiles whose only hope was to be lifted up by others. But would that happen? The contempt she put into the mouths of Southern planters was not solely of her invention. Many planters loathed poor white families, poor whites for their criminal activities, and especially in the role they played alongside slaves in trafficking of stolen goods. Right, so we talked about that. In the 1850s, as the poor white population swelled in numbers, so when did they say slavery, quote, quote, was abolished? Did they not say 1865 it was abolished? And that it had went on for hundreds of years. So how is it that in the 1850s, poor white population swelled in numbers? A Charleston district grand jury, okay, that's Charleston, South Kakalaki, y'all. That's part of Low Country, by the way. A Charleston district grand jury recommended defranchising the poor white men who were so degraded that they traded alcohol with blacks. Suffrage could be stripped away from any free man. There you go, 832. God damn it, I got some players up in my arena. Y'all don't be fucking around. Y'all know y'all true history, and you got receipts to back it up. Suffrage could be stripped away from any free man by the planter-controlled courts. So again, if whites weren't up under indentured servants, why would they have to even use the whole construct of free man? All right. In the 1840s and 1850s, North Carolina and South Carolina, Louisiana, and Virginia kept poor whites at bay by retaining property qualifications for holding office. Oh, let me sip tea, as they say.
Hey, sis.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, like with this whole Michael Flynn thing, they're saying that he was entrapped under colorable law. They keep saying it.
Sure does.
Now, I guess the things that would place you up under colorable law is things that they can paint a certain color.
Exactly.
Black, white,
Mm-hmm.
red, yellow, brown.
Get it? Them crayons.
Copper too. I mean, we just
That's
can't
true.
keep overlooking that when we talk about not being black. Then how you gonna be copper? That's a color too. I mean, I understand
that is correct.
I understand it's a mineral, it's a metal, this, that, or the other, but it's still a color. It's not an actual being.
Right.
And ain't it Webster, the white man, who attributed that to us? We can accept them calling us copper, but no other color. I mean, that's just my whole thing with labels. Period. When I was coming up, I mean, my grandparents mentioned that we were quote unquote Indians, but the main thing that I knew was when you carry your ass out this house, you represent the family and you don't do shit to fuck up the family name.
Exactly.
Wasn't about no nationality. I mean,
It wasn't.
Too many different bloodlines for everybody to keep saying that they come from the same nation of people.
Absolutely.
I just don't get that from a common sense perspective. You are who your bloodline is.
That's right.
I don't care about the bloodline that's set up a couple miles down the riverbank. I mean, y'all from the same region.
Right.
Y'all connected to the same area of land. I mean, we're all mama's children in that aspect, but we're still not of the same bloodline.
Indeed.
Nations, that's people coming together to decide that they're going to do something or achieve something together.
Absolutely.
That's still not the core of who and what you are.
That's right.
So, I mean, once we can get past this label stuff, being recognized, telling them who we are, getting them to respect who we are, when they keep telling you within the parameters of their game, within their system, these are the characters that exist. If you want to play in my game, if you want to be in this system, you have to be one of these characters or you can't play.
Yep.
That's why
pretty much what they say.
That's why they let you self-identify. Just like at the beginning of Monopoly. Everybody get to choose what they want to be. Oh, I want to be the shoe. I want to be the hat. I want to be the car. You self-identify. Exact same thing. Quit worrying about what somebody called you or what you gonna call yourself. Like, that's actually gonna matter because they changed all that shit when our ancestors were who they were. They changed their names. It didn't change the core of the being.
Right.
But do away with the system and then call yourself what you want, or don't call yourself a goddamn thing. Just be.
Exactly.
Why you have to be called any goddamn thing?
Indeed.
Lions don't name each other. Dogs don't name each other, nothing. They say what they say, they do what they do.
Yep.
But they ain't worried about what the fuck they called. They ain't got no flag, none of that goddamn shit. They don't give a fuck about no flag. A bird will shit on your flag.
Sure will. Yep.
I digress.
Indeed. Okay, the chat room, y'all off the chain. Scotty Saturn goes, because when I made the statement about having receipts, we got invoices, not receipts, because we ain't paying for nothing. We coming for what's owed to us. So purple pill. God damn it. You go. Ultraviolet is also known as Schwarzlicht, black light. So he is referring to, when I keep telling y'all, that plasma in the sky, and like Brother 832 made reference to Prince's 1999 song, The Sky is All Purple and People Running Everywhere. Ultraviolet is also known as Schwarzlicht, black light. Black light, red light, neon light, oh stop light. That's the true show. That's the true show. That's what's really going on. Mother Earth is showing y'all. She don't give a fuck about none of that. Your paperwork, none of that bullshit. I done told y'all, stand out and hold that motherfucking paperwork up to the plasma. Let's see what it do. And then Deep H2O says, Mama, as Rhonda has stated over and over, is out of hibernation with these mortal forces. Time to pay up. I need those ends. Pay up. I keep telling y'all, she has the last word. It don't matter if you got your shit together. It don't matter if certain amount of melanated people get their shit together. She is moving on. Oh, yeah, Deep H2O. Remember the Parliament song, Flashlight. Yeah. And literally in the sky, it's motherfucking Parliament. Flashlight, flashlight. Neon light, neon light. Now I lay me down to sleep. That is the shit.
It says.
Go ahead, Brother Sean.
But you do know that there's such thing as community immunity. With that, it's like in groups, our immune system strengthens, especially if we're all on the same wavelength, if we're on the same frequency.
True that.
And during this time of awakening, what better way to slow people down than to induce fear in a pandemic and then isolate people from each other so that they're not communicating properly? I mean, keep them from the very thing that they need, mama. Keep them inside, no sunlight, no grounding, no gatherings. What, no gathering on the summer equinox? I mean, it's not going to be one if they have things the way they want it. But it wasn't none on the spring equinox. They're trying to extend it past the summer equinox. Think all the things ancestrally that takes place, all the energy that is coming through mama's ley lines.
Right.
Now where is it going? With everybody in fear, existing in low vibrational frequencies. Who's left to harness that?
Right.
And those that know about it are in that 4% you keep talking about. I can imagine they eating good right about now because ain't no PayPal stopped, ain't no Patreon stopped. None of that shit. I mean, we're supposed to be in a pandemic, in a crisis. The world ain't never going to be the same again, but PayPal and Patreon and, you know, the whole, not the subscribe, but the join button. That's the latest thing, the join button, where you have to pay a fee to join. I mean, motherfuckers asking for your very last and don't give a flying fuck. But want to tell you about things that we know that we're supposed to be able to do, but these people got hundreds of thousands of followers, are supposed to be master this, master that. Ain't now one of them niggas flew. Ain't now one of them niggas got their Merkaba body.
Right. Agreed.
Ain't now one of them commanded not one demon or Goetia to do a motherfucking thing but bring them money.
Nope.
I
You're absolutely correct.
Nobody for their hustle. Because they wouldn't have a hustle if it wasn't people that wanted to be hustled.
Want to be hustled, absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
More power to them.
Bring it, brother. Bring it, goddamn.
It's just time for all this shit to be over with.
It's over. Yeah, that's why it's gonna be shut down, and it's gonna be the 1%. Because the 1%, we already done with the fuck shit. If you want to be real, we've been over the fuck shit.
and been accepted that it's a melanated system, that melanated people rule.
Yeah, we over the fuck shit. Exactly.
But it's still fuckery.
It's still fuckery. I don't give a goddamn. Like I just took and told y'all. If it was my ancestors involved with some fuckery, I ain't sanctioning none of that bullshit. We done with this shit. The 1%, we are done. So the 4% y'all can keep playing and fooling that 95% that you spitting this knowledge to, that's your motherfucking problem. But the 1%, we done with it. And we're telling you we see y'all for who you are. Because I'm not impressed what Q, Elemento, P, and them said. I'm not impressed with none of that bullshit. What world are you creating? What future have you built? Or are at least attempting to build? But we see through the bullshit, so it is what it is. But no, you bring up an excellent point, Brother Sean. But, shout out again to Brother Bobby Hammett, who was way ahead of his motherfucking time. He said in the 90s, black folks, and Bobby Hammett, he probably said niggas, you got to get out of this group thinking. Because the majority ain't going to do shit no way. It's only going to be 1%. So it is what it is. But we see you 4%. Don't think that we don't see you. It is what it is. All righty. Because I done told y'all done turned the shit into a religion. As far as I'm concerned, it's fucking disgusting to me. All right, here we go. All right, so they were saying that poor white folks and blacks, and she used blacks, y'all. She got a motherfucking reference number. Damn it. I would have to, wait a minute. I can find, wait a minute, reference number 37. What's 37? 37. I'm trying to see what is the reference behind that. Well, that doesn't match it. All right, anyway, I thought it would match it. Okay, here we go. Suffrage could be, we talked about that, stripped away from the freemen in the 1840s and 1850. North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisiana, and Virginia kept poor whites at bay by retaining property qualifications for holding office. Social ostracism was an even greater mark of shame, as planters forced poor whites to use the back. Yeah, let me sit my mother. Let me, oh, child. Pay attention, Caucasians. Pay attention, melanated people, a.k.a. blacks, a.k.a. Africans. Social ostracism or isolation was an even greater mark of shame, as planters forced poor whites to use the back door when entering the master's house. Slaves called them stray goats when they came begging for food or supplies, Southern reformers were just as disparaging. In a speech before the South Carolina Institute in 1851, industrial advocate and cotton mill owner William Gregg underscored the evolutionary argument in saying that our poor white people are suffered to while away an existence in a state but one step in advance of the Indian of the forest. Caucasians, I hope you're getting this. Gregg exclusively and melanated blacks. I hope you're taking this in on whom was who. And that's what Brother Shine is telling you about these motherfucking titles. You've taken on titles, and I done told y'all, that have associated karmatic debt. You're taking on titles and tuning in to a frequency and passing that shit along to your bloodline that never even applied to you. Greg, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Because as we've been doing some of this research, we come to find out that some of these tribes are named after people or after a certain individual. So if you're not of that bloodline, how are you saying that you're one of his people? How is that showing respect to your ancestors, to the bloodline that you actually descend from? I mean, if we're here for our individual journeys, and the only true commonality that we have, other than being of mama in this physical existence, is the fact that we're pure energy. Other than that, none of our journeys are exactly the same. Period. So, I mean, group or unity is okay on certain levels, but why did we create these individual experiences if we wanted to be one all the time?
Exactly.
I don't think they have the power to have divided us in such a manner, to create these individual experiences for entities that know no beginning or end. And they were created so they have a beginning and ending. So they're limited in everything about them, period. They are part of the program. They've been written into the program.
Into the program, absolutely.
They're the Sims characters from that Sims game.
Absolutely.
We're the architects, we're the creators, we're the key masters, we're the gatekeepers, we're everything.
That's right. That's right.
And now we're lost in our own program.
Yep. Beautiful, Brother Sean. Mark goes, and I got to bring this up because I had brought up the etymology dictionary, but since you brought it up again, I got to go on this. Damn, y'all throwing it down tonight. Woo, you bringing them invoices. They were white W-I-G-H-T, before color law, then turned into white, W-H-I-T-E. That's why you hear them identify as white even before color of law. Go to the etymology dictionary. White, W-I-G-H-T, noun. Old English, white, W-I-H-T, living being, creature, person, something, anything, from Proto-Germanic, whitey. Source also of Old Saxon, white thing, demon. Dutch, white, a little child. Old High German, white thing, creature, demon. Old Norse, thing, creature, Swedish. Veti, spirit of earth, gnome. Even in Slavic, vesti, a thing. All right, so if you go to white, just W-H-I-T, or if you want to say wit, but to me it's still white, still a noun, small particle. This is in 1520 from no white, no amount. From Old English, nan white, from white, amount. Originally, person, human being, see, white.
Wasn't there a W-I-G-H-T spelling of it also?
Yeah, they yes, I can go over that. Yeah, they say it in here. Thing, creature, okay, not related to the Isle of W-I-G-H-T, which is from Latin vectis, originally Celtic, possibly meaning place of the division.
832 say it was a curse, or somebody said it was a curse. I remember a documentary by the Mormons, and they were talking about the difference between the two angels, and they said that the ones that would not come down and help man remain black, and the ones that did come down to help man turn white. So if you go to the script, it says that the pale, the yellow hair is cursed, and the white skin is cursed. It's leprosy. It's a curse. So that definition that you're reading there is what the script said they were. They're demons. They're and I hate to say it, but the what you call it? The Muslims say they're devils and they're demons because of their color. They're white. That's what they are. So you just read that.
Now, we're going to go, okay, so Caucasians, Juden took on the title. Do you really know what that title means? So the term white supremacy, demon supremacy, I think that's appropriate.
Well, it's like democracy is the root word of demon.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to go to black. Just to be fair, again, this is the etymology dictionary. Black, adjective. Old English, black, B-L-A-E-C, absolutely dark, absorbing all light. The color of soot or coal. From Proto-Germanic, blacks, burnt. Old Norse, black, B-L-A-K-K-R, dark. Sweetest black ink, Dutch blacken, to burn. To burn, gleam, shine, flash. Source of Greek, to burn, scorch. Latin, to blaze, glow, burn. From the root B-L, B-H-E-L, to shine, flash, burn.
Hey, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Before you finish.
No,
shine,
you go ahead, brother.
Shine, glow. That just reminds me back in the day when you saw a motherfucker that was so black. He was like spitty blue black, and he just shined. He didn't have to have on no lotion or nothing.
Right, glistening.
Right. It's a shiny black motherfucker that just, like you say, just glisten for no goddamn reason.
Right.
And that's what it sounds like they describing. Mm-hmm. People that heavily melanated.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm skipping over a little bit more. And it says the same root, Old English black, bright, shining, glittering, pale. The connecting notion being perhaps fire, bright, and burn, dark. Or perhaps absence of color. There is nothing more variable than the significance of words designating color. Wedgwood, I guess is that who they're pronouncing. So just so y'all don't think we making it up, the usual Old English word for black was swarth, swarth. So, Rob, when we read these motherfucking public goddamn-cations that's saying swarthy, make no mistake, goddammit, it means black. Okay. So we told y'all everything is reversed. So do you really know who you are? Or are you playing a role that was assigned to you? And you took the role willingly. And you will cuss somebody out and fight them to the fucking death to defend that role that isn't the truth. And so how are you going to elevate your consciousness to get out of the loop? That goes to Caucasian people. That goes to melanated people. So all this fucking wordplay, I'm going to call you paperwork motherfucking pushers out that was telling melanated folks to go change they shit from black to white. Now, am I making this up, Brother Sean? Am I making up this motherfucking bullshit? Telling people to go change they self, exactly, with a motherfucking paper form from black to white? Really, dude? Really? You 4% slick talking motherfuckers?
And people wonder how come on paper whites are the majority. Everybody that's listed as white ain't quote unquote white. I mean, you know what all the foreigners that come over here. Regardless
they
of
list
what
them
their
as
nationality is. They can have their own nationality, own language, own flag, own military, this, that, or the other. But to become a citizen over here, your status got to be white.
Yep. Yep. Yes, Mark. Andrew Jackson was swarthy. That's what the fuck she said up in this book. And they call his wife a fat black wench.
She was probably mean. She wasn't on that bullshit.
No, she wasn't on that bullshit. I bet you they didn't call her no fat black wench to their face, because she would have whooped that ass from front to back. How much you want to bet? Had her pistol and all. What, motherfucker, what you say? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, Andrew Jackson was swarthy. Dark-skinned, yes, says Cheryl. Swarthy means dark skin, dark complexion. And I at least tried to give room to say he was mulatto, but now technically, goddamn it, swarthy means dark skin, dark complexion, goddamn. All right, y'all. People keep bullshitting themselves. So in the meantime, the author, Nancy Eisenberg, is telling you that the poor whites had a lower status than the motherfucking slaves. All right. So, in a speech before the South Carolina Institute in 1851, industrial advocate and cotton mill owner William Gregg underscored the evolutionary argument in saying that our poor white people are suffered to while await an existence in a state, but one step in advance of the Indian of the forest. Right? So hopefully you all are paying attention to how she is laying out for you these different categories. She's talking about the white indentured servants. She's talking about the free man, which include melanated Europeans, white Europeans. She's talking about them Indians. I hope you all are getting where she's going with this. All right. Okay. Gregg exclusively hired poor whites to work in his factory, hoping to elevate them into a more civilized, though still a mental station, providing steady work and granting access to schools. Few white trash squatters had any access to free soil or to homesteads. They lived like scavengers, vagrants, and thieves, at least according to reports by wealthy Southerners. But the truth is more complicated. Many worked as tenants and day laborers alongside slaves. During harvest time, poor men and women worked day and night for paltry wages. In cities such as Baltimore and New Orleans, some of the most back-breaking labor working on the railroads, paving streets, dray driving, ditch building was chiefly performed by underpaid white laborers. Damn, y'all. Right, she got a footnote 39. Let me see if that makes any sense. Oh, okay. She was just giving the source. Okay, she was just giving her receipt, y'all. By the 1850s, poor whites had become a permanent class. As non-slaveholders, they described themselves as farmers without farms. So now, melanated people that's calling yourselves descendants of African slaves and talking about reparations. This is why it'll never happen. First of all, you got to prove that you were an African slave. Second of all, how are poor white folk have to pay you when they were non-slaveholders? Yeah. Small-scale slaveholders tended to be related. Does somebody have me on speaker? Okay. Small-scale slaveholders tended to be related to large planters, a reminder of how much pedigree and kinship mattered. Slave owners had unusual financial instruments that situated them above non-slave holders. Financial instruments? Does that sound familiar to you, Brother Sean?
Indeed it does.
You know, I want to bring up something.
Go ahead, sis. Yeah, really sure thing. Go ahead, sis.
You know, when that question comes up in the Senate about reparations for melanated people, what's his name? Mitch McConnell, his jaws almost quivers with stress. I'll be cracking up. He is so stressed out. And it shows on his face. And he just be, mulling the papers around in his hand all the time and taking deep breaths, and his jaws are shaking. Because
he his family was probably in the come up of indentured servants.
Exactly.
I'm sure that's why he like shit, I can't say what the fuck I want to say. I can't, and I'm gonna say it, goddamn it, say it. Slip up and say it. Say it. Universe, make that bitch say it. Make him say it on record.
I want him to say it so bad, but he be stressing. You can see it. He just is like he starts sweating.
George Washington is an example of an indentured servant that came up in the system.
It's true. He was an outlaw too, so he was here for a crime.
And certainly Benjamin Franklin Caramel did a video on Franklin's ass.
He just did one
and on George Washington. Sure did. But we had told them that they were convicts a couple of years ago. About 4 years ago, we told them that the fucking founding fathers came over as convicts. I couldn't prove the indentured servant at the time.
But that's when that lady got on there and started calling you a nigger and all that kind of stuff, right? Start playing that song.
No, that wasn't a couple of years ago. That baddie bitch did that recently. I am literally saying a couple of years ago we told them that their founding fathers came over here as convicts. We fucking told them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gonna get on there talking about some nigger. Bitch, you better research your squatter. Fucking history.
And you still got your white trailer trash now, as they call them.
crackers.
Them the ones that never made it. The rednecks.
They never made it. Yep.
Yeah.
The hillbillies.
And they look down on them. They look down on them today and treat them like shit.
Yeah, we got an area like that here in town.
Literally, they look down on them, treat them like shit, and want to get on their fucking high horse because they white. Well, hopefully the fuck tonight you know what white means. You a demon? That's what you saying? You a motherfucking demon?
Yep, people don't realize that's a whole different category. That's class.
Exactly.
They divided things up into race, to class, financial status, religion.
It's a caste system. It's a caste system. They brought that shit over from Europe, and they only emulating what those melanated kingdoms fucking did.
And they doing it incorrectly.
Yeah, doing it piss poorly, motherfucking incorrectly. And that's why I said Caucasian people, you got to be held accountable for them 250 fucking years that you did piss poor ass it. Because you had the opportunity to rule. You had the opportunity to rule.
And if you know
so you could have done things differently. But go ahead on, Brother Sean.
They always refer to the United States as an experiment, as a social experiment, a melting pot.
Yes, damn. Very good point. Very good point. Very good point.
People are able to keep their quote-unquote originality as far as for their nationality or whatever.
Right.
Back home, where they have their own language and everything. But you come here and you're forced to become something that you're not.
Yep. You're forced to assimilate.
And they still attach their nationality in front of it, letting you know that they still place their nationality before the corporation because they know that they can't actually be Americans.
True. That's a very good point. That's an excellent point.
They know who we are. Their educational systems are different than ours. But they know the rules of the game when they take that citizenship test, this, that, or the other. They know what they are and aren't supposed to do. Right. And that's shown by where they stay. Because they don't stay down in the hood. Only niggas and white trash stay in the hood. Everybody else stays someplace else. Even the Mexicans don't stay in the goddamn hood with the niggas. They all out in the suburbs and everything with the Chinese and the Arabs and every damn thing else.
Indeed.
I guess in Cali, they got their own neighborhoods.
Right.
I guess it may be some areas that intersect where they have to deal with each other, but everybody else got their own shit. And
right.
Still get to come here and claim shit. We can't claim shit here. We can't go no place else and claim shit. And we seem to enjoy that because we keep calling ourselves people that don't have shit.
Right. Indeed. All right, y'all. So we're running out of time. We're going to be back next week. Sis, you have any last words for the family?
Well, I just want to finish what Brother Sean said. Hey, Brother Sean, in California, they put us in communities with all the churches and the liquor stores, okay? So they call it redlining. So, yes, this has been informative, but I think that even though the virus looks really bad and a lot of our people with existing things have passed on, I think this is the line in the sand for the white male indentured slave servant that has come to this country, showing them that they are still worker bees. They still follow instructions of their masters. When they said stop working, they stop working. They haven't changed out of that servant mentality. I don't care what status structure they have obtained with their money.
Right.
They still follow their leader, and they stick close together. Even though it does not make sense what they're telling them to do, even though it's not rational, they do it anyway. So that tells you what genetics they still have in their system. And it's taking them to poverty and no food and all the other things that's coming along with this mess that they've done. So, sometimes you never change. You can take the boy out the country, but you can't take the country out the boy.
Right. Well, all right, family, Brother Sean, I hope you don't mind because I'm going to try to wrap up. I think you gave your last word.
Go ahead, sis.
Okay. So, family, we want to thank you again. Thank you to the YouTube family, Purple Peel, Scotty Saturn, Sis Cheryl, Deep H2O, Mark, Sis Divinity, Mr. Tyrese, 21, Mark, Ruben Simmons. Thank you, Brother 8320. Thank you to both of my co-hosts, Sis Sandra and Brother Sean. YouTube, we're going to stop